Today's title is either I'm attacking legit leaders or she's defending gatekeepers, because these guys are in leadership positions. And I think I'm doing the right thing by calling out the fact that in their positions, they're misleading the people away from the ancestors and toward the whole New World Order agenda. That's the point I want to stick into your brain today. You will be able to call in and you will be able to answer the question, which one is it? All right. The question is, am I attacking legitimate leaders, or is Dulcinae defending gatekeepers? So at any moment, a person can call in and they can answer that question. And while that happens, as the callers rotate in and out one at a time, we will review the video. And we're going to get right into that video review right now. And I'm going to play at 1.25 speed. I'm going to start right here, 6-minute mark roughly. All she doing is playing a little bit of clips from my last video and then responding to it. So you heard the last video, so I don't have to hopefully play everything she playing, because this is 2 hours. Let's go. The moment you start being a voice for the ancients and get connected with them, this world gonna crucify you like it did Jesus. It ain't gonna roll out a red carpet for you like it's doing the masters. It ain't gonna do that for you like it's doing these masters right here. Because all of them part of a tightly knitted network that's looking out for each other as black people to get their pockets rich. And you may say that's a good thing, but think about it. That's a bad thing if they telling black people about aliens, Anunnaki, a bunch of dumb stuff that ain't gonna move us forward, man. They ain't teaching us about electromagnetism, the Tesla knowledge, 3-6. So basically what I'm saying is, it'll be hypocritical for me to have a channel where I'm constantly criticizing the church. Everybody know the black church is in our way. Everybody know that most of these churches in the hood got a rich ass pastor, and the message that he giving to them people ain't gonna get them nowhere. It's gonna, in fact, it's gonna keep them regressing while they get rich with the state. So let's just call it the way it is. Like when we talk about the black church, most of us can see that. But then if you think about it, what are they doing? They're profiting off of telling our people mythologies and folklores and fairy tale stories, man. And they making big time money with our people believing in pseudo stuff. Now let's flip to Billy Carson. What is Billy Carson doing? Telling our people fairy tales, folklores, alien abduction stories, things they have to believe in, nothing they can prove for themselves. This is the same foundation of religion. It'll be hypocritical for Sanchez to see the church doing that to our people and not call it out. I come from the church. It'll also be hypocritical for me to see the same thing going on in the black conscious community and not call it out. I come from that too. So I'm just doing what I'm supposed to do here. Call out guys who are enriching themselves, teaching our people the same old stuff we've already heard before. It requires me to believe in it. I can't prove it, and it ain't getting us no damn well. That's right. If you want the people to move forward, you would help me do this, because our people been doing the same thing for over a decade. We're getting worse and worse, man. All Sanchez is doing is shaking up these communities, and I'm saying, God damn it, this ought to make you do something different. I bet you this gonna break your little comfortable pattern. And everybody calling me a madman, a disruptor, a divisive guy, when we already been divided and conquered. You don't see it because you sleep, which is why I'm waking you up. So my whole thing is, what I'm doing ain't popular. What I'm doing may seem like I'm hating on somebody, because when I'm going in on these rich pastors, they saying, Sanchez, that's a young pastor that's teaching brothers to live right. Why you hating on him? People got the right to believe what they believe. I've been getting this my whole career. This is what I know I'm gonna get when I try to ruffle feathers, change the status quo, stop us from doing the same thing, because we're gonna keep getting the same results. And what's that? Every generation getting worse and worse.
That's right.
We went from hip hop to gangster rap to trap to drill rap, and now it's finna go to AI demonology type shit. And damn slyway gangster heavy metal punk rockish type vampire type stuff. This capitalistic system and all of us capitalists are mutating together, and we ain't mutating. It's ugly. Like the way that this capitalist system is mutating, it's mutating into something that's very hideous. And the capitalists that partake in that system are mutating with it and turn it going more and more into an instinctive, beastly, low type nature. In order for black people to move to the next level spiritually, we have to address the gate guards that has been implanted into these conscious communities. And that's all I'm doing. That ain't gonna be pretty because a lot of our people are attached to these idols. A lot of let's like the white man loves Alex Jones. I go in on Alex Jones. I go in on Joe Rogan. They ain't challenging the scientific community or the physicists that's lying to us about who we are and where we are. They perpetuate it and calling anybody that says anything other than that pseudo, while believing in aliens and abduction stories. That's pseudo. But see, the government pushing the alien agenda, and they pushing it too. Peep game at who's pushing what and who's going against and challenging what's being pushed. Let's play the video. It's not the stuff that will get our people back to thinking like masters versus just saying we masters when we're teaching the enemy's message to our people. How are you a master? Your ancestors were masters, but you didn't connect with them. You connected with the Greeks. If you ask any of these black people about the universe, they're going to start quoting Newton, Galileo, and all that, but they saying honor your ancestors. But these are the same white people that desecrated our ancestors. Mm-hmm. All of the knowledge that they stand on come from either pseudo white folks or the regular physicists that you see out there that's pushing like the out of Africa theory, ancient aliens. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. They ain't doing that but chocolate coating the new age shit by saying, well, the black people are the aliens. Mm-hmm. But all of the black people that's saying, I can't get jiggy with this alien stuff, then their job is to tell you, well, the black people are the aliens and now you'll get jiggy with it. Just like all the black people that's saying, I don't believe in Jesus. That's a bunch of belief in mythology. Their job is to come out there and tell you Jesus was a black man. And it's a whole nother chocolate coated sector of the Christian church that they call a conscious community. That's giving y'all the same thing that the church giving y'all, but putting it in a chocolate, but they chocolate coating it. Come on. Come on.
Now, I do want to say something before we get further into the video of what he's saying right now about the pseudoisms that are part of this community, that a lot of people tend to gravitate towards those pseudo narratives, whether it be the Anunnaki, the Elohim, like you said, Jesus being a black man and keeping us into these thought patterns of what our religion was, spirituality was based on, you know, this, bring it into a melanated force, and then all these people would gravitate to that spiritually. Now, I don't agree with the pseudoisms. Obviously, I don't believe in the aliens or anything, but I definitely see that the masses of our people definitely connect in when you do have those talking points of we are aliens or what's out in space or Jesus or anything like that as far as it. So I really want to go into, you know, when people do have these pseudoisms that they believe in, can they still be connected to the ancestors spiritually? Can they still feel the real essence of what the metaphysics are pulling and the gravitational pulls, even though it's based in pseudoisms? And I believe that they can. It's just the fact that definitely there's parts of this pseudoism that has kept our people down, you know.
Now, see what I'm saying? Here's the thing, right? Pseudoisms are anchors Think of a pseudoism like an anchor, a big ass ship anchor, right? When a person say there are parts of the pseudoisms that have kept our people down, what they're saying is part of this anchor held you at the bottom of the ocean, but that ain't how the anchor works. Holding on to this anchor is going to keep you at the bottom of the ocean, and it ain't going to be part of the anchor. See, even if you hold on to just this part or that part or that part, you still going down.
That's right.
You got to let go of the whole thing if you want to be free. You can't say, well, there are parts of the lie that's keeping our people from seeing the truth. We got to get all of that lie up out of our system, man, to purify ourselves.
That's right.
Let me let y'all hear the argument. Go ahead.
The Elohim, like you said, Jesus being a black man and keeping us into these thought patterns of what our religion was, spirituality was based on, you know, this, bring it into a melanated force, and then all these people would gravitate to that spiritually. Now, I don't agree with the pseudoisms. Obviously, I don't believe in the aliens or anything, but I definitely see that the masses of our people definitely connect in when you do have those talking points of we are aliens or what's out in space or Jesus or anything like that as far as it. So I really want to go into, you know, when people do have these pseudoisms that they believe in, can they still be connected to the ancestors spiritually? Can they still feel the real essence of what the metaphysics are pulling and the gravitational pulls, even though it's based in pseudoisms? And
Hell no. What's the point of the enemy creating pseudoism if you still can connect?
I believe that they can.
And this is why we don't go off beliefs. Because look at the biggest number one pseudoism, which is the Christian church, the black church. Look at what I seen people in the church saying, I'm going to let go and let God. That's a dangerous pseudoism. That means I'm not going to interfere with my child's self-destructive behavior. I'm going to let an imaginary force do it while I look the other way. I've seen parents do that. Drop a one if you've seen parents do that. It's so many toxic pseudoisms that got us not only disconnected from our ancestors, but disconnected from our children, our wives. The Hebrews teach that a woman shouldn't even be in a leadership position. A lot of these religions, like I grew up in a church, they said a woman couldn't even step up on the pulpit back in the day. I grew up in a Pentecostal, I joined a Pentecostal church, spent most of my time in it. When I joined the Pentecostal church, they were still iffy on letting women be ministers. And then I heard that the history of women rising up in the Pentecostal church was a long, hard one for leadership positions. I heard that there was a time in a Pentecostal church, a woman couldn't step foot on the pulpit. They would have to do some cleansing. And what are we saying about women subconsciously? We're thinking of women the same way that the Greeks thought of their women. And we're not Greeks, people. We didn't treat our women like the Middle Easterners, wrapping them up and demoting them. We didn't have the insecurities about our women that the heathen had, that the barbarians had. There's so many things we're doing traditionally that's rooted in these pseudoisms that we ain't even interacting with each other on a day-to-day basis how we naturally would because of our different sick ideologies about what we think about the person that don't even have the same belief I have. For example, when I was a Christian, if I would meet a black Buddhist or a black Muslim, automatically in the back of my mind, I told myself they going to hell. Ain't no way they going to heaven worshiping any other God outside of Jesus Christ.
That's right.
I grew up in the South. So my pseudoism had me looking at every other black person that didn't believe what I believe, like they following Satan, when really they could have been going against the system on my side. But I was programmed to see them. If you ain't calling out on the name of Jesus Christ, you doing some evil shit that's gonna go get you sent to hell. You calling out on Buddha, you going to hell. Under no name in heaven gonna get you to heaven but Jesus Christ. That's how I grew up. That divided me from a lot of people. That's dangerous, man. You can't say, well, they can still believe in all that bull crap and connect with the... Why you think the enemy created that stuff? To disconnect us. You can't believe that the greatest people on earth were the ancient Egyptians and still honor your ancestors who was way greater than the Egyptians.
That's right.
If the enemy got you believing that the Greeks are the smartest people in the world as a collective, you can't say, well, people can believe that and still connect with their ancestors, because our ancestors is where the Greeks stole their knowledge from and didn't give credit. And if you don't know that because you got a pseudoism, you can't really honor your ancestors properly. Because every time I bring up the fact that our ancestors was right about this, right about that, you're going to say that's pseudo, man. Because the Greeks didn't say it. The physicists didn't say it. The modern scientists didn't say it. And all of them are aligning themselves with the Greeks and ancient Egypt is where they saying civilization started. If I accept that pseudoism, I'm saying that my ancestors was dumb as hell. And people didn't get civilized into Kemet, into Greece. That's a smack in my ancestors' face. This is why we got to deal with these beliefs and these pseudoisms, because these are spiritual attacks. And only a person with their third eye open gonna know that. Everybody else gonna see me as a hater. Everybody else gonna see me as a agent of division. Some people just ain't gonna get what I'm doing. Let's play the video.
It's just the fact that definitely there's parts of this pseudoism that has kept our people down. You know, the thou shall turn the other cheek, as far as it, where we're more docile than fighting back. Of course, there's a lot of problems that come in when we have these teachers that are teaching these pseudo knowledge, or that get people connected to these things that don't matter. But when it comes to spirituality and our ancestors, I believe that they're stronger than that. I believe that once you're starting to get...
Well, check this out, right? Our ancestors aren't stronger than your own ignorance.
That's right.
For example, right? My father, for example, let's put it like this. Your ancestors are stronger than the bull crap that we facing today. Our ancestors are stronger than damn near every black man. Well, I would go and say that, yeah, ain't a black man walking this earth today that can compete with the level of spirituality and all that the ancient man was on, in my opinion. Now, I agree with her. Our ancestors were stronger than all this. Here's where she's wrong at. We're not, though. We're not our ancestors. We're born in a different time where the babies are coming out the womb giving all kind of concoctions and cocktails. They eating foods that's messing up their neural highways before they even able to think for themselves. All of their wiring just being screwed up. They giving music that's poisonous, that's dimming their aura. They doing all that for years before they even start to fully think for themselves. By the time they start saying, man, this ain't right, they in so deep that their biggest challenge is gonna be trying to change all the bullshit they grew up believing and being exposed to. So we got to understand why this is wrong. And to the people just coming in, I'm going to play it back for you one more time and I'll expound on it some more.
Of course, there's a lot of problems that come in when we have these teachers that are teaching these pseudo knowledge, or that get people connected to these things that don't matter. But when it comes to spirituality and our ancestors, I believe that they're stronger than that.
Our ancestors are, but we're not. We're not even economically stronger. I ain't even got to talk about the ancestors. I can talk about the black people in the 60s and 70s. We ain't even stronger than them.
That's right.
They was able to save their money and work together. Black men today splurge on everything and hate on each other and spend their money to get the other black man assassinated and knocked off. The ancestors were way stronger than not only us, but the enemy we up against. If we're not winning over this enemy, it's because we're not embodying the energy of our ancestors, because Dulcinae is right. Our ancestors is stronger than all this. So why we at the bottom? Because we're not activating our DNA and a part of us that's gonna make us behave like the ancestors. Our ancestors was smarter than the people in power because they didn't learn from nobody else. They did their own research, and they were the wisest people on earth by not listening to nobody, by going out there proving everything for themselves. We don't do that today. We listen to the Greeks. We actually listen to their pharmacists, their psychologists. We listen to all of the enemy that's against us and wonder why we at the bottom. We disagree with the ancestors. And it's because of what Dulce just said. A lot of black folks think that I can think like the European, but still be connected with my ancient roots. That's so stupid.
That's right.
Stupid.
That's crazy. Just like the enemy wants your mind, your ancestors want your mind. And if you don't give it to them, then guess what? You ain't connected with them. The only way you can connect with your ancestors is submit and bow your ass down at their feet and say, guess what, ancients? Y'all was right about everything. Y'all built a better world than us. You knew more about the stars than us. You knew more about time than us. You knew more about dreams, deja vu. You got the man, if you don't kneel down and get down and bow down and say, look, I don't know shit, ancestors. Y'all know more than everybody in our time. These people fucking the world up, talking about they physicists, scientists, they leading us to hell. These ancient people built the utopia with the knowledge that y'all laughing at today. And you ain't connected with no ancestors if you won't humble yourself and realize Billy Carson wrong, all of your black leaders wrong who teaching Neil deGrasse Tyson ain't nobody right but the ancients. If you ain't willing to submit yourself and bow your ass down like that, the ancestors don't want you. I'm just telling you the truth.
Right.
You ain't humble enough. The ancestors bougie as hell. If you don't fully submit your damn self to them and their knowledge, they don't want you. Because modern man is leading y'all astray, and the only people that's going to give you a download that's legitimate in your DNA is the ancestors. But if you don't fully open up your mind to their concepts, you ain't letting them in. How I'm going to connect with my next door neighbor if I never invite him into my house?
That's right.
How my next door neighbor going to connect with me if he never invite me into his house? How we gonna make a connection? You ain't ate off my table. You ain't allowed me into your residence. But you saying, oh yeah, man, we connected. Bro, you ain't never even set foot in my house before. How?
That's right.
You saying you connected with the ancestors, you ain't never invited them into your house. But you let the Greeks in. You let the Europeans into your mental space. You let them tinker with your imagination, and you entertaining all the possibilities about the universe that the white man wants you to entertain. And anything I tell you about what the ancestors said about reality, you laugh at it, but you connected with them. Billy Carson got a video attacking the ancestors. And this is what y'all got to realize. I didn't start this with Billy Carson. For people saying I'm hating on him, you can't do that with me. I'm finishing what that man started. I wasn't thinking about Billy Carson. I was just teaching flat earth. Billy Carson chose to come against flat earth. And I started saying, how dare he attack flat earth when he got people believing in alien abduction stories and all kind of crazy stuff that's just as worse than the doggone church. I'm getting people connected with the fact that our ancestors were very skilled in electromagnetics. The ether, the primordial ocean, is an ancient scientific concept about a ethereal medium that all of the elements sit within. This was the foundation of physics to the ancestors, but they didn't have no physics because to them nothing was physical. And they taught that the nature of reality was holographic. If you tell this to people like Billy Carson, they'll debate you on it. But the physicists are saying if you zoom in on anything solid, it's basically 90% empty space with a bunch of atoms. They saying that nothing is physical. They're saying that the visible universe is only 1% of the visible spectrum, the physical universe. That's a hologram. They don't have a science that can explain deja vu, dreams, astral projection, lucid dreams, because the Greeks didn't have an imagination. The Greeks were a barbaric group of people that dimmed their light. They couldn't connect with the heavens, astral projection, and ascend out the body or have an out-of-body experience. There were barbaric cultures that done so much wrong, they dimmed their light. And when you do that, it makes your chances of ascension less. And they got us trapped with them. That's the foundation of why I do what I do. There are a lot of black people in positions. They look the part. They look like they're connected with the ancestors, but they not. They're connected with NASA. They're connected with modern physicists. They're connected with Stephen Greer. They're connected with a bunch of people that the ancestors would consider enemies, and that has to be exposed. I think the people should know that. Knowledge is power, right? I got receipts for everything I say about Billy Carson. When I say he's connected with people that the ancestors would consider enemies, yeah, the ancestors would consider the space programs enemies because the space programs are the biggest agencies that mock the ancestors. NASA, the European Space Agency. If you go to talking about Nut and Gab, Mayan cosmology, ancestral flat earth concepts, they will laugh you out the room. That is mocking my ancestors, man. You really thought the earth was flat. It's the biggest joke in science when it's the most obvious truth in reality. I'm not picking on Billy Carson. I wasn't thinking about Billy Carson. Billy Carson works for NASA, which is why he was thinking about me, because I'm a threat. I'm a threat to his covenant that he built with the devil. See, the symbol of NASA is a serpent. These are the people that's at the foundation. This is the fraternity that's keeping you detached from the ancestral view of reality, and that's why you can't connect with them. This is why you won't open up. This is why you won't open up your front door for the ancestors and let them in, because your house too full already. You done let Neil deGrasse Tyson in. You done let Billy Carson in with all of his aliens. Ain't nowhere for the ancestors to sit. Your house crowded with liars and deceivers. And until you kick these bastards out, you can't even prepare a place for the truthers to come in and give you this download and connect you with your ancestors. I wasn't thinking about Billy Carson. You know why Billy Carson came out attacking me first? Why he came out attacking Flat Earth? Because he's in the bed with the enemies of your ancestors. They're selling y'all CGI. People are paying tax money so that NASA can create equipment that's floating around the earth that don't even exist.
That's right.
They're all part of a big money laundering scheme, and y'all think I'm hating on people. I'm not hating on these brothers. I know my enemy, man.
That's right.
And my enemy know me. That's why Billy Carson is on the offensive. I'm on the defensive. Remember, the man that attacked first is the offensive force. Ever since he did that, I just been defending where I stand as far as I'm telling you the ancestors knew what they was talking about a flat earth. That's what this is about. I'm saying the ancestors were right about the shape of the earth. Billy Carson saying they were wrong. So Billy Carson can dress like our ancestors, but he can't think like them on a cosmic level.
That's right.
If you can't think like your ancestors on a cosmic level, if you can't see reality through their lenses, you disconnected. You think like the Greeks on a cosmic level, and they weren't even connected to the cosmos, man.
That's right.
I think like the people who was the most connected to the heavens. I think like them, even though I get laughed at for it. And my whole point of this show today, and today we do have a debate with Dulcinae, but I'm giving y'all a layout of why the debate is necessary and what the disagreement is all about. So I don't know how the hell you telling me they still connected with their ancestors while looking your great grandmother in her face and saying, great grandma, you don't know what the hell you talking about. That's disrespectful. The same thing when I tell a Pan-African I'm an Aboriginal. My people didn't come over here during the transatlantic slave trade. That's the white man's version of my history. I got the right to tell my own story.
That's right.
My forefathers had oral traditions where they told us who we are by word of mouth through an oracle. The reason she's called an oracle is because she orally spoke the message. She didn't write nothing down, because writings can be mistranslated like what the Greeks did with the Bible. So word of mouth, I've heard all my life coming up. My people been here. I've heard all my life. We didn't land on Plymouth Rock. Plymouth Rock landed on us. This is coming from people who are my ancestors, not the scientists and the Greeks and the physicists. I'm not gonna tell my oracle, you don't know what you're talking about, and listen to Darwin, Charles Darwin, about me evolving from Australopithecus in Africa, and smack my great-great-great-grandma in her face who told us we been here. But I got to tell my great-great-grandma, you wrong. And this white man know what he talking about. Boy, I ain't gonna dare do that. I ain't doing that. Cause why? I want to stay connected to my ancestors.
That's right.
If you won't do it while they standing in front of you, don't do it when they dead, man. Like these dudes that's trying to diss the dead leaders or dead fallen ones that came before us. If you wouldn't do it when they was here, don't do it when they dead. If you wouldn't stand up in front of your great-great-grandma, look her in the eye and say, great-grandma, we ain't no Cherokee Indians. We come from Africa. You don't know what you talking about. Did you go to school, grandma? Did you learn the evolution theory, grandma? Then be quiet. Charles Darwin was right. You're wrong, grandma. You wouldn't do that with your grandma standing there as the oracle for your tribe, giving the tribe their lineage, their genealogy orally. But see, they gotta wait till these ancestors are dead and gone to desecrate them. And they don't gotta do it directly. They can get the children to spit in the grave of their own ancestors. And that's what Billy Carson doing. That's what a lot of these black men doing. And what makes it so sad, they dressing like the ancestors, like they're connected, like they really connected and part of their ancestors, while telling the world, yeah, my ancestors didn't know shit. The Greeks had to come and teach their children everything. You're telling the world, yeah, I'm dressed like the ancestors, right? I look the part. But if you ask them about the cosmos, they ain't gonna go with what the ancestors said. They gonna go with what the Greeks said. What they're telling the world as black men is we can't even learn anything about the universe from our ancestors. We got to go to the enemy to learn science, physics, STEM, because our ancestors were so dumb about the nature of reality. Only thing we can copy from them is they dress code. We can look like them. We can't think like them because they was dummies though. They were morons. So we must think like the enemy, but dress like the ancestors. That's the definition of a wolf in a sheep clothes.
That's right.
I believe that once you're starting to get these downloads that are coming down, sometimes the downloads in itself can wake you up to the pseudoisms that, you know, the teachers are teaching. But we're going to go further into that later. Let's go ahead and continue.
They giving y'all superhero fairy tales about supernatural humans. It's not you with the power. Now, the only way we're going to get our power is to connect with our ancestors. I got news for y'all. Our ancestors ain't at Stone Mountain, Georgia. Let's do some research. Let's do some research real quick, right? Quick chat GPT. You ain't got to do nothing but ask it 2 questions. I did it for you. Why is Stone Mountain? She got it. Why is Stone Mountain such an important place for this group of black people? I'm from the South, and we don't care nothing about Stone Mountain. That's where the hood at. But don't nobody go there to honor no ancestors. You know why? Let me read to you something real quick. Stone Mountain holds a complex and deeply emotionally significance for black Americans, primarily because of its historical connections to what? White supremacy, not to your ancestors. Going to Stone Mountain don't connect you to dead black people who you're trying to honor. It connects you to the masters. Who? The slave masters. Watch this. The Ku Klux Klan and the Confederacy. Not because it has been a symbol of black pride or empowerment. See, even Chat GPT know the truth. Chat GPT know that Stone Mountain is not a place that got the energy of black pride, black empowerment, honoring your ancestors. Here's why Stone Mountain is historically important in relation to black history. Number one, Stone Mountain is the site where the modern KKK was born in 1915. Did you hear that? Why the hell would a bunch of black people want to go to the mountain where the KKK was born? Who are you honoring? The masters or the slaves? See, y'all thought I was coming in here to lie on these people. It's going over your head. Billy Carson is connected with all of the white people that are involved in scientific racism against black folks. He cool with them. Brother Rich will only allow niggas on his channel that's giving you a bunch of pseudoscience and ancient aliens type crap. He's not going to let you on that channel if he don't like you and shit like that, because his platform ain't for the people. It's for him and his buddies to get rich. He don't care nothing about no truth. And they rubbing it right in your face, because how many other black groups that y'all know meet up at Stone Mountain? All of the doggone boule, the COINTELPRO groups meet up there, and they gather, they call themselves the masters, and they show up there to honor the masters of old and new.
All right. So even though that may be true, that the Ku Klux Klan did meet up on Stone Mountain, I think the question would be why? Why did they choose Stone Mountain? Why do all these people choose this as far as a meeting of the masses and different things like that? When it comes to these different groups, whether we talk about boule, whether we talk about Masons, whether we talk about the Ku Klux Klan, there's a reason why they're doing the things that they do. And I think we get caught up in the...
But I just gave my reason, though. My reason for why they meet there and call it the gathering of the masters is because that's literally where the slave masters gathered. So me making my argument ain't out of me not knowing why they doing it. It's me making an argument, giving my own theory of why. I'm very thorough. I'm going to give you my reason why. So she's already starting off flawed, because she's thinking that she's automatically saying, well, there's a reason why. Did you hear the reason why that I proposed? That's the debate right there. You get to tell me why you think they're meeting up there, and I'm going to tell you why. And my theory why is that they ain't honoring the ancestors, man. How is Billy Carson going to honor his ancestors while he working with their enemy? I keep asking that. The man got a contract with NASA. So listen. it'll be hard for him to step foot in a place that's literally saturated with the ancient spirit when he's spending his whole career telling the world that they're wrong. They didn't know what they was talking about the shape of the earth. But they made the most advanced calendars. They had the most advanced timekeeping system. And they was able to make predictions about the stars way more accurately than the Greeks. But you telling me they didn't know nothing about the cosmos. They was wrong about the shape of the earth and all that, the nature of the sky. How? But the Mayan have a more advanced timekeeping system than us. How? Wouldn't our timekeeping systems be better than the Vedics, the Hindus, and the Mayans if they was wrong about the shape of the earth? And even your modern physicists will admit to you, we can't make a calendar like what the Mayans made because it's too advanced. But yet they will tell you that the Mayans didn't know what they was talking about the cosmos.
Stupid.
And Billy will stand right behind them and say, y'all right. They was wrong about the shape of the earth. They didn't know what they was talking about. And you telling me that I'm doing something wrong for calling him out for going against his ancestors while looking like them, while having events like you honoring the ancestors. And you can't have these kind of events in a real ancestral space. If you know in your heart you ain't connected with the ancestors, you're gonna have that feeling in your chest of guilt. It'll be like me going out there telling the whole world that my ancestor's enemy is right and my ancestor is wrong, and now I'm gonna go to my great-grandmother grave site. You gonna feel the spirit, dude. The same energy that your great-grandma would have for you saying she's wrong and the white man is right in real life, you gonna have that if you visit her grave site too.
That's right!
You can't go to where your ancestral spirits are if you ain't connected with them, because you're gonna have this fucked up feeling inside of your heart. It'll be like me doing this, right? It'll be like me being a Pan-African, right? And I'm teaching that evolution is true. Humans come from Africa. Black folks get in America through the transatlantic slave trade now. But my great-great-great-grandmother told me I was a Cherokee Indian. But I don't want to go with what she said because I don't want to get laughed at by the scientific community. Imagine me going to my great-grandmother's grave to do an honoring. You think I would feel right? Imagine if I spent my whole life telling the world my great-grandma didn't know what she was talking about, and her enemy know what he's talking about. You think the vibes is gonna be right when I go visit my grandmother's gravesite? I might as well go visit my enemy's site because my energy is aligned with them. If I'm telling the world my great-grandma didn't know what she was talking about, she misled y'all. She was wrong about the shape of the earth, about who we were, because we're Africans, right? If I'm teaching the whole world that, and I want to honor my ancestors, but I know me stepping foot on their gravesite gonna give me a fucked up feeling because I've been going against them and putting their enemy on a pedestal. Where would I feel comfortable at? At a place where my enemies gathered at. Billy Carson would feel more comfortable at a cookout with NASA than he would at a cookout with a bunch of people saying the earth flat. The people that's saying the earth flat is only pulling up ancestral artwork like Nut and Gab, and he's scared of that. He'd rather go party with NASA than the people that's putting his ancestral conceptions of the universe in front of the world. He gonna laugh at that. He don't feel comfortable around people that's literally exposing what the ancestors taught about the universe. He feel comfortable about the people that's pushing the lie that he's bought into by way of contract with the enemy, and I'm showing my damn receipts. You can't call me no, man, now all of a sudden y'all don't like receipts. This is on NASA's website. This is NASA.government, bro. Billy Carson works with these folks. Now, what's the scam? There's a lot of contractors with NASA that's getting money from our tax dollars because they got equipment in orbit that's helping us out. Now, what if we find out ain't none of that shit up there in orbit? It's free money to everybody that know the lie and join the liars that help keep the lie going. Shh, hush, be quiet. Billy Carson, we gonna pay you for your little device too. Since you see what I'm saying, we gonna give you a little, and ain't shit up there. Not Billy. They want you to think Billy Carson got technology orbiting the Earth. He's a contractor with NASA. They all lying to us. Ain't none up there. And they being able to get into those tax dollars, and it's hush money. If I want to say now, I was wrong about flat Earth. The Earth is a globe, and actually I'm inventing some technology to help NASA explore space because flat earthers are holding us back. Boy, they'll give me a fucking contract so quick. They will give me a job quick. And I will go out and teach space and teach how flat Earth is dangerous because kids can actually work with NASA and have technology that can help us be a spacefaring creature in the future if only we can silence these dummies. You see how this go? I refuse to do that. Billy didn't refuse it. And you telling me we the same. Sanchez, he's still connected to the ancestors just like you, even though he disrespect them and say that they wrong and do business with their enemy. Come on, man. You gotta be foolish to believe that.
The racist narratives that they have and not understanding their even understanding of what's happening around them and why they're choosing these places for energy. So I pulled up ChatGPT as well, and we'll get deeper into what ley lines are, what were they to our ancestors. But I just put on as far as that Stone Mountain has ley lines. And
again, what would they call ley lines, not ley curves? There's something called an AE map, which Billy Carson rejects. He laughs at this flat earth shit. And check this out. There go the ley lines right there coming from the North Pole, just like the ancestors said. Just like the ancestors said, man. So she's bringing up ley lines, but Billy Carson misleading the world about what ley lines are. See what I'm saying? You can say where they on a certain ley line, what connects them with their ancestral spirit, but you ain't even teaching the truth about ley lines and what the earth is. Come on, man. The people who discovered ley lines said the earth is flat. And the Jamaicans had a god called a Nuncy the spider who weaves a web, where they was teaching that the electromagnetic ley lines of the earth looks like a spider web. Now, guess what modern scientists say? That the Jamaican people ancestors was so damn dumb, they was worshiping spider deities. And they turned this into Spider-Man. And guess what? You know why Spider-Man wear red and blue? Because that represent the red and blue shift of electromagnetism. Part of this web is red, the other half is blue. That's the yin and the yang, the sun and the moon, night and day. The spider in the middle was a North Pole god called Anansi. The Jamaicans weren't pseudoscientists. They were fucking connected with the universe, man.
That's right.
But if you talk to modern physicists and the people who Billy is aligned with, who telling you the ancestors was wrong about the shape of the earth, they'll tell you the ancestors didn't know nothing about the magnetic ley lines and that they worship dumb spook gods when that's what the Greeks was doing. Our ancestors was personifying aspects of nature and looking at animals and all that to show you what the earth was on a bigger level. And the European want you to take this beautiful parabolic way of teaching literally so you don't see the science behind it. And that way they can say your ancestors didn't know nothing about the earth. They hid all this knowledge by making you take the symbolism literally. People will tell you the oldest deity in Jamaica is Anansi. Anansi ain't a real spiritual being. He's a concept of how the Earth was created from the North Pole and how the magnetic ley lines expands from the center of the Earth. It's all based on flat Earth. You know, the stuff that Billy Carson is waging war against. See, if the Earth flat, guess what the whole world gonna know? Billy Carson lying his ass off about aliens abducting him. Because if the Earth flat and the Egyptians are right about Nut and Geb, and that Nut represents a firmament dome, meaning that it's firm. You can't get through that. They even told you Operation Fishbowl, they can't break through the Van Allen belts. The firmament is firm. It's firm. If we really saying the Earth is flat, it's gonna expose all of these alien abduction ass liars out there.
That's right.
Like Billy Carson. All of these imposters with their alien stories. It flat Earth debunks them because it says that no aliens can come to our Earth. It's enclosed. We're trapped inside of a firm barrier, according to the ancient Egyptians. Can't none get in and can't none get out unless it leaves its body. The only way out of here is by transmuting the flesh itself, having an out-of-body experience. And even the Bible backed that up by saying no flesh and blood can enter the kingdom of heaven, which is why NASA had to come out and tell you we can't make it through the damn Van Allen belt, which is this barrier that the Egyptians said is up there. Once again, the ancestors is right. And we found that out with Fishbowl, but Billy Carson saying they wrong. And you think he can still connect with them like me? Gots to be a fool. Let's get on with it, man. This flat Earth is a threat to all the lies that Billy Carson been telling people to enrich himself. And that's true for the Christian pastors too. Flat Earth is a threat to all world religions. It's a threat to all pseudo-isms that's keeping people spiritually held back, man.
That's right.
Once this get out there, everybody gonna know all of y'all was lying, man. All of these people that, think about this. You got all of these rich ass Christians that's wrote books about angels coming to get them and take them to heaven. When we find out that you can't even access the heavens if you ain't connected via the ancient initiation systems, we know y'all lying. People talking about we went up to heaven and we can tell you about the universe and the other side because Jesus came and got me. Jesus is a fake character. I know you lying. And I know the way to go up to the heavens because the ancient people who said the earth flat taught about how to get up there. Out of body experience. But niggas like Billy Carson will tell you aliens can take you up there. Other people will tell you NASA can take you up there with a rocket. Christians will tell you angels took me up there. And the ancestors will say all of y'all lying y'all ass off because we know about this place and can't nothing go up there if it don't know the truth about what is up there. You cannot leave this earth until you have the knowledge about what the earth is. Knowledge is power, right? It's the power to free yourself from this place. Knowledge is power even in a classroom. If you don't get the knowledge, you can't leave the class. Until you learn the knowledge in that class, it's a jail sentence. You stuck. Well, what's trapping me? Why I can't get out of here? You won't learn. You won't learn. You think you know everything. You won't open up your mind. Yeah, the universe works the same way. You can only go as far as what you know. That's a cosmic law, meaning I can't go to a place I haven't even discovered exists yet. That's facts. And if I close my mind to any new knowledge, then the possibility of me learning of these other places that exist that I can go to just went away. So there can be whole other places out there, but I'll never see them in my life because I won't entertain the possibility that they exist. That's what we're doing when we talk about the upper realms. You can't go where you don't know. And if you don't have the knowledge of what's up there, it's like me not having the knowledge of a place called Alabama. How I'm going to take a plane trip there? I don't even know it exists. I won't even entertain the idea that there may be something else out there. It's you confining yourself with your own ignorance. And that's the dangerous thing about waging war against ancestral knowledge and then guiding your people toward NASA, toward modern physicists and all that. That's what Billy Carson doing. So the sister bringing up magnetic ley lines, let's see where she go with it, because I just showed you when you bring up ley lines and how you can use them to connect with your ancestors. First of all, you can realize that the Greeks didn't discover ley lines.
That's right.
How you going to, first of all, when we talk about ley lines and the ancestors, right? My whole point is Billy Carson is a guy that would have to tell you your ancestors didn't even know what ley lines was because they was wrong about the shape of the earth. You gotta be right about the shape of the earth if you're gonna teach about ley lines. So Billy Carson is the kind of guy that will tell you you can't even learn about ley lines from your dumbass ancestors. You gotta go learn about them from the Greeks, who don't even have ley lines on their globe model. They got ley circles. Guess what the spider do? It lays lines down. Yeah, the spider lay lines. The ancestors said the universe is expands from the North Pole, and that all the ley lines expanded from the North Pole like a glass breaking from an epicenter. Let me show you. It's so simple. This is what the Big Bang is. It's so simple, y'all. I'm gonna show you. If you punch a glass, where you punched it at will become an epicenter of ley lines, and you can recreate the whole flat earth right now just by going and buy a glass and break it. Go buy, I forgot what this glass called. It won't shatter. It's got like a film in between it, so when you hit it, it don't shatter. It just create this little pattern. You can do this. You can recreate the entire flat earth model just by breaking a glass, man. It's simple shit. Ain't no random patterns in nature. Everything is sacred geometry. So the epicenter of our earth is a point of impact. And when that, whatever impacted there, it all of the magnetic ley lines expanded from that point like these glass lines did when you hit it right there. You punch it right there. Where you punch it become that epicenter of this whole pattern that the earth is. But if you just look at this pattern on glass, you won't see this. This is why I get paid to study these symbols and shapes. Now, Billy Carson don't want to do this. He just want to regurgitate with you what NASA saying, a bunch of theories and all that to keep his, see what I'm saying? His connections with his brotherhood of liars. So when we talk about ley lines, you can't even teach me nothing about ley lines if you don't know the earth flat.
That's right.
You can't even go deep about them if you think you live on a globe. Let me show you something. When you pull up a globe, right, you don't have ley lines. You got circles of longitude and circles of latitude. Sanchez, they call them lines of longitude and lines of latitude, but they ain't lines though. I'm gonna call them what they are, okay?
That's right.
Those are the lines of longitude and lines of latitude. You're lying. They ain't no lines. What you got is latitudinal circles and longitudinal circles. But you ain't got no lines at all on a globe model. The concept of a ley line comes from the flat earth model. Because when you lay the lines down, it even shows you how the ancestors used this to create their teepees. Because these ley lines rise up as they go toward the center and fall down as they go toward the edge where the ice wall at. Just look at it and study it. If you still having problems understanding what I'm saying about this, and how it's just like the teepee, then I'll show you this here. These are teepee sticks. This is what the firmament is. We're inside of like a teepee. The earth is a big ass tent, a big teepee. And all of the magnetic ley lines climax right there to make Polaris. The North Star is an explosion of magnetic ley lines. It's a bunch of ley lines crashing together at the middle of the earth, creating this twinkling star that you call Polaris. It's the brightest star in the sky. The magnetic ley lines are electromagnetic lines that literally builds the framework of the earth that we live in like a teepee. As these lines fall away from the center point, they fall down. And as they, as we go toward the center, these things are ascending to a point where they all connect in the middle like a teepee. Just like this. This is what the magnetic, you can't nobody teach you about this if they don't know the earth flat.
That's right.
Can't nobody go this in depth about this knowledge if they telling you on a globe. Can't nobody do what I'm doing right here if they ain't connected with their ancestors. They can only tell you about alien abduction stories.
That's right.
So you bringing up ley lines, but you can't even begin to teach about them. If you ain't connected with the ancestors, you can't even accurately explain what they really are. Which is why I gotta call Billy Carson out. Because he cannot connect our people with the ancestors while he's connected with the people whose job is to give us information to disconnect us from them. How that work? How does that work? Well, he can still be connected with the ancestors while doing the work of their enemies. Our ancestors are alive, boo-boo. They are among us right now. They just in a reality that's out of our visible spectrum and sonic spectrum, but they're right here, right now among us, with us, man.
That's right.
They can see what Billy Carson doing. And you gotta think, if they wouldn't connect with him in real life standing in front of you, they ain't gonna do it when they dead either, boo-boo. They still living spirits who the same people. They just passed to another side. If the ancestors would tell Billy Carson that he's a damn enemy of their teachings when they was alive, they doing it right now from the other side. Which is why a lot of niggas think they getting away with being traitors to the ancestors. Because a lot of these guys know the truth, but they saying, well, the ancestors ain't here. Yes, they is, sir. They right among you. They all, and that's why you got to sell your soul to the enemy, right? Because you've lost favor with the ancestors and you can feel it in your chest that they ain't happy with what you're doing. So how the hell you gonna connect with them when the ancestors are on the other side convicting you for going against them? And you can feel it. Now, you can go outside and act like you connected with them, but in your heart, the ancestors telling you, we don't fuck with you, dog. You going against us, telling the world we don't know what the hell we talking about while working with the enemy.
That's right.
And you can't lie like the ancestors would give you a pass for that. Now, if they wouldn't give you a pass for that real life while they alive right now, they ain't gonna do it when they dead. Ain't nothing changed, man, when a person die. They still the same, they just on the other side. If Sanchez will cuss you out for something right now while I'm living, when on the other side, if you do it, I'm gonna be cussing you out and you'll feel it too from the grave. Y'all got this real European way of thinking about reality. You think because you don't see your ancestors, they ain't here. And you think because you don't feel them, they ain't here. But the reason you don't feel them because you ain't connected with them. Facts. They still here and you can't see them because they crossed over to the invisible realm. The only thing you can do is feel them. And if you can't do that, a fool may fool himself like they ain't there. When they there watching and grading and judging and saying, yeah, he don't fuck with us. He fucking with our enemy.
Here's what ChatGPT says about it. Let me try to get this a little bigger. So it says Stone Mountain, located in Georgia, USA, is often mentioned in discussions about ley lines, especially amongst those interested in Earth energy grids, sacred geometry, and alternate geography. Here's the breakdown of this idea. What are ley lines? Ley lines are hypothetical alignments of ancient sites.
See what I'm saying? Hypothetical alignments of ancient sites. And all of the knowledge that she researching, even ChatGPT is programmed with our enemy's biases. I prove that to y'all that AI is biased and that the people who programmed it put their own biases and prejudices into it. That's facts. Now watch this, right? These biased people who don't like the fact that the ancestors were geniuses will say that ley lines are hypothetical. So she's shooting herself in the foot right now and don't even know it, because she about to make an argument about some ley lines that her master is telling her ain't even real. It's just hypothetical.
That's right.
See, if they was fully connected with the ancestors, her and Billy Carson can do what I'm doing. They can teach a whole little mini lesson about the ley lines and put the Jamaican ancestors on a pedestal. I honor my ancestors every time I open up my damn mouth, and I don't gotta speak through the eyes of the Greeks and ChatGPT cosmic knowledge because I'm getting a download directly. You can't ChatGPT this shit that I'm teaching you about the ley lines and enunciate a spider. You can't ChatGPT this image of this teepee of me teaching you how the ancestors said the firmament don't work. You got to study the ancient cosmology systems, and ChatGPT ain't on that level. ChatGPT would tell you all of this is hypothetical. It ain't real. The ancestors ain't know what they was talking about. The earth ain't flat. You can't teach about ley lines realistically from ChatGPT. You can only do it hypothetically. She proving my point.
That's right.
This shit ain't hypothetical to me. The firmament dome ain't hypothetical to me. Ley lines ain't no damn hypothesis to me. It is a fact. So she finna sit up here and make an argument about channeling ancestor energy through ley lines when the people she getting the knowledge from don't even believe in ley lines.
That's right.
It's hypothetical to them. So the idea of being connected with your ancestors via ley lines ain't even factual in her own statements. The only way they can speak factually about this concept is by connecting with the ancestors via the cosmology, which is why I said ain't nothing coming out of your mouth gonna be true till you know the truth, man. Everything you say gonna be hypothetical. It's gonna be tainted with the biasness of this world. Whenever you try to tell people the truth, you gonna always have the lie in there and you ain't gonna even know it. She don't even know she just lied about the ley lines because it ain't hypothetical. That's the downfall of using ChatGPT for everything. See, I'm an expert in ancient cosmology. ChatGPT can't help me with that. You can't go to ChatGPT and say, can you connect me with my ancestors? You can't ChatGPT a relationship with your damn ancestors.
That's right.
You got some things you got to really do the work and hard work. And I was so damn determined to see reality through the lenses of my ancestors that I can teach y'all ancient cosmology unlike anyone else in the world. I'm gonna show up doing I'm gonna show you, I'm gonna explain myself with images like this to teach you what ley lines are. When you punch a glass, you create a ripple effect of energy. And you can see the ripple effect is a bunch of concentric circles. And those concentric circles are split by the ley lines that are expanding from the center. It's the same pattern of a spider web. When you punch the center, you create a ripple effect. Those are a bunch of circles, concentric circles coming from the middle. But at the same time, you create a ripple effect, waves of energy, you create a split in all of those waves, which is the lines that come and split the ripple effect. And now you get this spider web pattern. You get the spider web pattern with a bunch of little blocks, like bricks. because the concentric circles are being split by the ley lines. And this the same pattern of you breaking a glass. It ain't some random pattern that just, no, you don't look at it with your third eye open. Ain't no random patterns in nature. You just hadn't been taught how to see reality through the lenses of your ancestors.
That's right.
So how did our ancestors make a teepee? They laid the ley lines out and they start wrapping those ley lines in cloth. So there's a vertical aspect and a horizontal aspect. And we're in a big teepee. When they lay the ley lines down vertically, they start wrapping the walls horizontally, just like a spider web. You got vertical lines coming from the center, and once you get that, now you get your fabric and you start wrapping that around it, and now you got a house. That's how the earth is made. That's how this pattern is made. You take those lines, you spread them out, and then you start, I'm gonna do it on, it's very simple, I'll show you. Let me get my board out and just do it just to be redundant and thorough. Use a blue marker, that's fine. Long as it shows up. So it's very simple. This is the epicenter or the North Pole. Once that starts the singularity, then you get directions which are integers. You get the four corners. And from there, you get this. You get this. This is what this is how it starts. But after you get that, you get this. You get this. You see it? You get this vertical aspect, which is what? The masculine. And you get the feminine aspect, which is what? The feminine. If you look at the 9 aspect that wraps around right here. The Fibonacci spiral is a 9. The feminine or the spiral aspect, all forming at the same. When a spider weaves a web, the first thing it does is make a, let me show you how a spider weave a web. So let's say, see, the spider will find 2 posts. That's called Joachim and Boaz. Joachim and Boaz are the 2 pillars of creation. Why? Let's put one there. Let's put one there. Joachim and Boaz, 2 pillars, right? And let's say that these 2 pillars are like trees. They're trees, right? And what the spider does, it is like Samson in between the 2 pillars, because what the spider does, it weaves its first string from here to there. So the spider will start with a straight line, and that the spider gonna make just a line from one tree to the next one, and then it's gonna go in the middle. Now you got Samson in between the 2 thieves. They've been telling y'all this story. Samson in between the 2 pillars. This is the beginning of the universe expanding. This image that I'm showing you later became stories of this guy. Let me show you this sacred geometry. Let's zoom in on that and compare it to what I'm doing on the board. This is the foundation of the universe. This is how the spider starts his web. And let me show you what happens from here. The spider will go into the center point of that line, and then guess what he would do? He would start to do the Fibonacci spiral like this. from that one line. This line will keep both hemispheres of the ripple effect stable. But then the spider won't stop there. It'll go back to the center point and restabilize the entire structure with a center pole and sometimes cardinal directions. Just to glue the entire web together and make it cohesive. The spider is weaving its web under the same laws by which the universe were created. Everything in nature is following a macrocosmic code in microcosm, and we can't see the pattern because in order to see it, you can't see it with your two eyes. You got to have them working in unison with the third eye to make the kind of connections that you see me making right here. You can't make these kind of connections if you're not connected with the ancestors. What I'm doing right now, you ain't gonna find it in a book nowhere. You ain't gonna find it online nowhere. I'm freestyling a download directly from the ancestors that are using me as a vessel to vividly show you how they saw reality through me. And when I tell you I'm connected with the ancestors and I see reality through their eyes, I'm not lying to you, bro. I'm proving it to you with demonstrations, with cohesive knowledge that you can't rebut because I'm syncing it to things in nature that you can see with your own eyes, like spider webs, which is what the Jamaican did, which is why they had a deity called Anansi the spider to teach this same knowledge. They wasn't dummies worshiping spook spider gods. They were teaching cosmic science. And this was the original concept of Samson before they turned this into some pseudo story. It was all about the creation of the universe. This is the kind of stuff you can do when you connect with the ancestors and you legitimately got the download.
Sites, landmarks, or natural features believed by some to channel the Earth's energy. The concept introduced in 1921 by Alfred Watkins, who suggested that ancient monuments and natural landmarks were intentionally aligned for spiritual and navigational purposes. Modern interpretations often associate ley lines with electromagnetic fields, geomancy, sacred sites, and energy healing. Stone Mountain is not one of the most cited sites in global ley line maps like Giza and Glastonbury, but it does appear some ley line theories, particularly in North American grids. Point of interest: geological prominence. As a massive granite monadnock, Stone Mountain is geophysically unique, making it a focal point of geomantic theories.
Now, let me just cut through some crap real quick so y'all can see why this is neither here nor there. Giza is built on a magnetic ley line, but it's built in defiance of the people that taught us about the ley lines and all that, and who said the earth was sacred. Once the Crusades happened, you had all of the enemies came and rebuild these temples that our ancestors had built on these ley lines to teach their knowledge. Think about it. All the places that she bringing up that's built on magnetic ley lines, they are the ceremonial gathering spots of Freemasons today. Why? Does that take away our ancestral power from them? No, I'm with her on that. But what I'm telling you, it doesn't take away the enemy's ancestral presence there either.
That's right.
Just like we have places on earth where we can have spiritual energy, resonant energy lingering to connect us with our ancestors, the enemy can too. So in order for us to reclaim these spaces, you have to get rid of the desecration that the enemy put there, because it is a sigil that is acting as a spiritual stargate to allow the oppressor to maintain access to this area. Just like Giza. And the Pharaoh told you that. The Pharaoh said, this pyramid will allow my soul to keep reconnecting with the earth. And when you go in the pyramid, it's all those hieroglyphics you see is basically the whole story of the Pharaoh resurrecting and maintaining his earthly connection. So the pyramid is a big ass sigil in stone. It'll be no different than me taking a rock outside, carving my sigil in it, and when I die, I will still be able to connect to this plane through that rock that got my symbol carved in it. The only way someone can break my connection is by desecrating the sigil that I created. This is how spiritual signs work. Y'all should know this if you study sigils, if you study frequency, energy. Some of the most powerful energy in the world comes from symbols, not words, not even actions. Symbols are the silent entities in this world that are the emitters of the most energy, and they are creating the biggest vortexes, like the Christian cross, the symbol of Satan. These symbols are like cosmic stargates that are allowing an ideology to have a gateway to the earth. If you destroy the symbol, over time, the ideology that was attached to the symbol will go away. That's why they're so important. If you got rid of every McDonald's symbol today, 200 years from now, people will lose the history of this place, because this one logo is so much. That one logo, when you look at it, you looking at years of history. You looking at so much tied into the Nike symbol, that if you delete the Nike symbol, you delete all the history and damn near everything that this simple symbol represent. Because symbols are the only thing that stand the test of time. Even if they rewrite history and they delete all of the athletics, and we forget that sports existed, you will never forget it as long as a Nike logo around. Because someone gonna look at that Nike sign and say, what is this? And it's gonna make them have to go and research, hey, there was a time on earth when people played tennis, basketball, they wore Nike signs. If you don't destroy that symbol in its totality, it's gonna be hard for you to fully cleanse and delete the earth of that ideology and concept. The symbol is a gateway that allow a thing or an idea to maintain a connection to the earth. Write that down, okay? Why is that important? The enemy desecrated a lot of our sacred sites by carving his sigils into them. Stone Mountain has the founding fathers of the Klan carved into it. If niggas is so bad, why don't they go and destroy that? Because the state will get mad. But the state said we don't want racism. The state said we live in America and it ain't no more black versus white and we all want to love each other, right? So you mean to tell me they gonna lock me up if I see a gang sign carved on or painted on the wall and I go smooth it out, the city gonna lock me up? I'm helping you. I'm keeping the peace. This is a gang sign on the wall. It's gonna get somebody murdered. This is a gang representing their evil agenda against another gang or group of people or whatever. And the city should thank me for that. If I go to and I see, look at this gang sign where they got the founding fathers of such and such gang. That's gonna piss off the other gang members. And plus, we shouldn't even be feeling proud of no founding fathers like that started this criminal organization. So why would the city get mad at me because I'm going around the city cleaning up the gang vandalism? It's vandalism. That's what at Stone Mountain is vandalism. It's ancient vandalism. If a nigga go to Stone Mountain right now and carve a picture of Khalid Muhammad, they gonna take that off. But I can't take off the white man's leaders on the mountain. What I'm telling black people is I've seen us protest and tear up our own communities, but we won't go and deface that Stone Mountain carving, which is ancient vandalism. The city can't say, well, you getting rid of something that the city did with tax dollars. No, bro. Klans members did this long time ago, and America has moved so far past this, right? Then you should clap when we deface this shit. That's vandalism on there with Klans leaders. A criminal organization. That ain't a good sight in Georgia. When children riding by and you saying we need to stop talking about slavery in school because black people is victim minded, but we gonna keep the slave masters carved at Stone Mountain. I'm not hating on black people gathering at Stone Mountain. I'm saying there's a nothing burger and you still ain't connected with your ancestors.
That's right.
And if you want to get me excited about something we doing at Stone Mountain, I will help y'all destroy that shit. We can all serve time for it. I'm down. Let me know when y'all, oh, they might take this down. I'm just playing. This is a parody. Y'all know we just playing. But I'm just saying though, why do I gotta get in trouble for saying, let's clean up this vandalism?
That's right.
Why am I got to worry about my video getting taken down? Cause I'm saying, hey, let's get rid of this racism that's carved on the wall. Ain't that good? Don't we paint over gang vandalism and all that? See the point that I'm making? Black folks gathering at Stone Mountain ain't honoring your ancestors if you ain't got the nuts to reclaim that place. I just told you how sigils work. If there's a magnetic ley line running through Stone Mountain, long as the slave masters is carved into that mountain, that energy will manifest their will more than ours. Because let me show you how the ley lines work, right? Let me go back to the spiritual teachings. I'm gonna show you the science behind what I'm talking about so you can see I'm not making it up. Watch this, right? The magnetic ley lines are like spiritual highways. Anything on a ley line will get a message delivered from it directly to the center of the earth. Humans can't go to the North Pole today, but we can send messages into that portal. There's a portal at the North Pole. It's responsible for creating time. If you're able to send a message or channel an idea or a concept through that portal, it will manifest because all of the ley lines run into the North Pole, and the North Pole is where each new day is manifested. That is the concept of why we value the ley lines. It is like I can put some on a ley line, and because all of the energy on Earth is running into the North Pole, I can go on a ley line and meditate about what I want to manifest into my life. And that energy from my idea will literally get sucked into the North Pole. And remember, the North Pole is where the next day is created at. It's where time is. So what you doing, this is why Muslims pray toward the Kaaba cube. But the real Kaaba cube is pointed in the middle of the earth, so they misdirecting y'all's prayers. This is an ancient science that the ancestors talked about, that you can literally send energy into the North Pole portal to help manifest your reality. And there's a science to it. If every thought, every energy that's emitted on the earth, all of that emitted energy flows into the North Pole, just like everybody on my street right now, when they all flush their toilet, all of their waste flows into one main pipe, and from that one main pipeline, it flows into bigger main pipelines until ultimately it gets to the waste center. And that's how the magnetic ley lines work. No matter where you at on the earth, there's a ley line running through your land, no matter how far down you is. See, if you want to deliver a message, see, because the ancestors said each day is a new you. And the next you is gonna be born with tomorrow's rising sun. So the ancestors said, there's a you that sleep at the North Pole waiting to wake up tomorrow in the morning. There's the new you that have just expanded into this current place and time. And I got another video teaching you this concept of how they saw time. They looked at time in layers. Each day was a layer or a ripple in time. But the whole thing is this: because tomorrow's you is already at the North Pole, you can send a message to it before it actually manifests tomorrow. And you can keep passing that baton, and that message will get so prevalent at the center that you will start to program your center self on what it needs to be doing once it manifests into the present reality. This gets more complicated when you start trying to tie this into, you know, how time work. It's very simple, but it'll take me more time to teach it, right? And I don't really have that. So, but the basic concept is what I'm trying to lay out to you. If a person in Australia, all roads lead home, just like the way our sewage system works. Everybody pipelines flow into one waste center to get they stuff treated. And the earth made the same way. Everybody praying all around the earth, whatever energy you got, that is being received by these ley lines. Ain't no energy being emitted on this earth that ain't being recorded by the central black hole. Energy is light, and no light can escape a black hole. The way you feel, the way you think, all of that is being constantly siphoned into the portal to feed that back right to you tomorrow in your net self. So if you want to change who you are, you literally got to project a new thought into the portal, because the new you comes in every day through that portal, which is why if you keep thinking the same, doing the same, you just sit in the same signal to the tomorrow's you and to the next you. You look back and see, damn, I'm stagnant. I haven't changed at all. And that's because you haven't projected this new idea into the center pole, and it gets easier and easier to manifest this new reality the more you project inward, right? Projecting inward. So it's deeper than me turning toward the North Pole or making sure I'm on a magnetic ley line. The basics of the concept is projecting inward, because there's a black hole in the center of your chest that's connected to the black hole at the North Pole. So a person can be somewhere in the middle of this box where it's so far away from them to get to a ley line, right? That they say, well, how do I get the one that you don't got? You can literally raise your vibration to a level. See, the thing about this, all energy gonna get sucked inward anyway, whether it's on that line or not. Everything is flowing inward. So the thing about you doing a ritual on one of these ley lines is that there's a more, it is like me taking a main highway to get my mail to its destination, or me taking a back road. You know what I'm saying? So if a person want to go to the next level with their ritual and say, hey, I'm going to travel to one of these ley lines and do a ritual, I think that will make your magic, if you will, more effective, right? More effective. Because now the whole ritual is you acknowledging what the earth is. That's real. Like I said, knowledge is power. The earth know you know what it is. And the earth know if you don't know what it is. And the earth can't really manifest what you want it to manifest if you don't know what it is. If you don't know all of this knowledge that I'm telling you about what the earth is, you won't be able to manifest what you really want to manifest without selling your soul and bypassing all of this shit. All of the energy flows inward. Look at this. In and out through the middle. So your intent must be spoken. That's my thing is, if y'all really want to step your game up, get you a compass and face north when you meditate. Face north when you meditate.
Energetic significance. Some spiritual and New Age practitioners believe it sits on an intersection of ley lines due to the natural magnetism, the presence of quartz, which is said to amplify energy, and its connection of other American magnolithic and mound sites. Possible connections, as theorized as ley line enthusiasts, the Etowah Indian mounds, the Amoki mounds, the Cahokia mounds, and even Chichen Itza or other points of Mesoamerica via speculative long ley alignments, local myths, and energy work. Some groups conduct rituals, meditations, or energy work at Stone Mountain under the belief it channels and amplifies earth energy. So we know they're skeptics, but we'll go to the summary. Stone Mountain is not universally recognized in all ley line maps.
Just because you're doing a ritual at a ley line, you can be doing a ritual that hurt your people. If you go on a Stone Mountain with the mentality of the slave master, you ain't doing that but reinforcing your dead slave master's agenda. If we show up to our ancestral burial sites with our energy aligned with flat earth and what our ancestors was on, then we will see divine intervention happen on our behalf more quicker. But this Stone Mountain gathering ain't honoring the ancestors. You too scared to go and think about it. And I am too. I'm going to speak for myself too. We're too scared to do it. Right? But like I said, we will protest and tear up our own communities and go to jail and the police hitting you with mace and beanbags. But you won't deface nothing with the white supremacy on it. All of these black groups will have y'all tearing up your own communities, but I bet you they won't go down there to these sacred places that they said belong to our ancestors and get that KKK vandalism off of it. And the thing is, it will spark a political discussion. I will stand behind it because the state should want that. The state should go and take that off. Like I said, if you go to Stone Mountain right now and carve an image of Khalid Muhammad, go to Stone Mountain right now, right, and carve an image of Nat Turner or somebody. They gonna take it off and leave the slave masters up there. They're gonna tell you they taking yours off because it's race related. We don't want to be reminded of all this slavery and all this racism. America have moved forward, which is why they taking black history out of school and all that. But if y'all legit about that, let's go to all these racist sites that desecrated our ancestors' places and let's clean that up too. See, a person may get prosecuted for doing that at Stone Mountain, but they will be celebrated by the public and it'll start a conversation on why haven't the city done it? You see what I'm saying? That's where, if you ask me, the ancestors would be proud of that. Versus a bunch of dudes showing up there and they don't even know nothing about ley lines. They going against the very people that discovered the ley lines. A bunch of dummies who not connected to their ancestors telling everybody alien abduction stories at Stone Mountain is not a flex to our ancestors. And it don't matter how much she talk about ley lines, the people that's at that ley line will tell you that the ancestors they trying to honor didn't even know about them. The Greeks did. And so how is that honorable? To tell our ancestors that their enemies knew more about the earth than them.
But among some of the esoteric traditions and geomancers, it is considered an energetic or spiritual noid in southeastern U.S. grid. Its unusual geology and regional prominence lend to its mystic that continues to inspire interest beyond mainstream explanations. So when we see people that are outside of us, as far as like you saying, the KKK, any kind of these other groups that are Masonic, these Boule groups, and they're going to these said places as far as to galvanize, they are going as far as for the energy there. They're going there because there is this magnetism or
right. And I just told y'all, check this out, right? If I take a rock and I carve an image of the devil in it, and I channel this evil ass satanic energy into the rock, because why? Stones absorb energy. So I'm going to take a rock, I'm going to write a sigil, just say I'm part of a satanic church. And we believe in this red dragon and that, and our alternative reality, we literally created this being called Satan in a parallel universe, that the devil is real as a red dragon, ha ha ha. Because if enough people believe in it, the law of probability says that there must be a universe created to hold that idea. Now watch this. These Satanists know about sigil making. I'm going to show you how they use it against us. If I carve my satanic idea into a rock and somebody who's innocent find a rock and they say, well, I'm going to use this rock to honor my good ancestors. That means your spirit ain't right, first of all, because the moment you picked it up, you should have felt the evil energy that I put in it.
That's right.
Y'all talking all of this spiritual stuff, but you ain't activated the part of yourself to give you intuition. So the moment you take your spiritual ass to Stone Mountain, guess what you ought to feel? A bunch of slave master energy. Stone Mountain is a big ass sigil rock. Do you know what a sigil rock is? So listen, a sigil rock looks something like this. It's a rock with a sacred symbol carved into it so that the stone can record and maintain that energy on earth. For example, if you take every stone with a racial ideology carved into it and take it off, the energy of racism will decrease in the atmosphere. You ever been to a certain place and just felt the certain vibe in the air? That is energy emitting from sacred symbols in that site that's under the ground somewhere, in a cave somewhere. It's a signal coming from those symbols that is literally interfering with everything that's in the radius of the emission of it, in the bubble. So certain areas got certain symbols and monuments, and once you leave that area, the vibe change, because you're out of the umbrella of those symbols that's permeating that area. So when you go to Stone Mountain, which I've been, if you in tune spiritually, guess what you feel? A deep sense of hatred in the air for black people.
That's right.
You can feel the white man's hate in the goddamn air. Listen, how many of y'all ever rode through the South and you went through some of these towns and you may not even know about the town, but you feel this energy like a nigga probably can get hung around this motherfucker. You don't know why you saying that. You just know, like, I'm in the South and there is sundown towns in the South, and you just cruise through a little city, you see these white folks, you may get a vibe like it just feel like a lot of niggas died right here. Like if your spirit in tune, if you pass by a slave graveyard, you can feel the pain. If you pass by a Klan site, you can feel the hate for the slaves. You got to have an in-tune spirit to do what I'm doing. Just because a place is on a magnetic ley line don't mean that the energy there is good for us. Stone Mountain is a big ass sigil rock that was created by our oppressors. Now, what this does? Until we destroy these sigil rocks, the energy of racism in that area will stay strong. It's more than one, but when you got a big stone like Stone Mountain that's on a major ley line, I guarantee you, if y'all do what I did, because I'm from the South, I've been to Stone Mountain plenty of times. I haven't been to the actual location they went to, but you know, when you ride through Georgia and you pass Stone Mountain, tell me you can't feel that KKK energy. And I know the difference, because in Alabama, we got slave graveyards. I visited several slave burial sites, and guess what I feel? A connection to my ancestors. But I also feel the pain in the area of what they went through, which fuels my anger toward their enemies. And you can only feel like that. You can feel the spirit of your ancestors activating your DNA at these grave sites. And if you go to like a KKK grave site, you can feel the energy of their ancestors that hated yours. If your spirit ain't in tune, you will act like you can just go anywhere and feel comfortable. But dude, that's pseudoscience. I can't honor my ancestors in a damn satanic temple.
That's right.
Cause I'ma feel weird. My spirit is so in tune with vibrations that I have to go to a quiet place to meditate and to where the energy is right to connect with my ancestors. Because my spirit is so sensitive and in tune with energy, I can feel the vibes. If there's something anti-ancestral, I can feel it. And in those areas, I can't honor my ancestors because now what I feel is this hate toward my enemy. not no love toward my aunt. See, when I'm at my ancestors' burial site, I got this huge feeling of love toward my ancestors. But if I go to like a KKK site, now I got this huge energy of hate toward the people that did that to my ancestors. And I love my ancestors, but when I'm at this KKK site, I feel this hate in me toward the people that tortured them and did all that. That's the way my spirit works. I'm in tune. What I'm feeling is the genuine energy that's in that area, because those KKK ancestors, they spirit still linger in those areas. If you don't want their energy lingering in that area, you got to destroy the portal that's allowing them to anchor themselves and claim that space spiritually. And that's why I'm telling you, Stone Mountain is a big sigil rock. The slave masters that carved this into the stone, they know about spiritual sciences. We don't. That's why they carved Mount Rushmore. Why did the Egyptians carve themselves in stone so much? Because once future generations see that pharaoh in stone, they're gonna have these ancient ideologies living on in modern times. So there are people today that still think like the pharaohs of old, because when they go to Kemet, they ask questions about these men who are carved in stone. And when they ask questions, there's history associated that passes on for generation to generation. So when the white young clans member go to Stone Mountain, his clans member daddy and uncle say, you see that? That's General such and such. And they perpetuate this energy and this hate toward black people as long as these carvings are there. There's no way we're gonna get rid of racism in America while keeping all of these sigils that gonna reactivate the hate toward black people in the next generation of young white boys. That hate is heavy in the air in the South, and it's a spiritual thing. And it's because there's a lot of energy vibrating from these monuments that was left by these old witches. When they was torturing Negroes, they was learning about spiritual science from us. They was learning about carving stone like the Egyptians. They learned all that. They know how to use spiritual warfare against you and keep their energy and their ideas living on for generations. It's carved in stone. And while they leaving all their stuff up, they destroying yours. Look what happened to the Georgia Guidestones. Look at how these people desecrated Angkor Wat. But they won't do that to the pyramids at Giza. Everything that's maintaining this low vibration of capitalism, class system, slave masters, rich versus poor, they don't desecrate that. They honor that in Freemasonry and all that. Anything connecting us with their ancestors, they get rid of that and say, we need to move forward. We need to move forward and be all together. But you leaving up the Klans member shit.
Or what people would so-called call magic. So when they're going and they're manifesting whatever for good or for...
You know why Vicky Dillard call it magic? You know why Billy Carson call it magic? Because they don't understand the ancient science that I'm breaking down to y'all of how the ley lines work. It ain't magic. It's simple. If you understand energy is real and energy flows through the earth, and all energy is siphoned through the North Pole, it's very simple. You start to look at the magnetic ley lines as cosmic highways for all energy on Earth, whether it be good or bad. If more bad energy enter the portal than good, then we're all voting and agreeing to manifest hell on Earth. The moment every human change their vibration to this positive energy, to this vibration of the ancient world, all of that energy is gonna flow into the portal, and when it come back around again, it's gonna change. If everyone on Earth right now changed their energy, the universe is like a river stream. This energy is connected to all things. We're telling the universe what kind of reality we want to manifest by how we feel, not by what we saying. It don't speak no language. It go with your energy that you feel. And if everyone on earth keep feeling a certain way, then the universe is just gonna keep spitting back out to us what we're putting into it. You get in what you put out. So if we keep putting this negative low energy into the portal, each day just gonna be perpetuating this status quo, which is what the elite want us to do. They don't want us to upgrade our energy and rise up to this new awakening. Once we change our energy, the universe will respond to it. It's a voting system. They got most of the world feeling a certain way, and it's manifesting this gray ass reality, man, that's only benefiting a few people at the top. But the reality we all want, we don't have the feeling inside that we need to manifest that reality. We just got a thought in our head of what it should be. But the feeling that you need to align yourself with the thought in your head is gonna come when you connect with the ancestors.
That's right.
So we really putting this vibe into the ether, and they're controlling us on how to feel and all that. The universe records that feeling and say, okay, they want war, they want debating, they want division, they want chaos, because they've all programmed us with that energy. But if when everybody wake up and take control over their own vibration, that's what the universe will send into the portal. It will start to redefine reality instantly. They know that. This is what the ancients knew as well, that collectively we can shift paradigms at the snap of a finger. And the ancient world was so connected all around the world with this one truth that it was so many people on the same page. The enemies was just spiritually outnumbered. The people was voting for a utopia. They had to go around and change the energy of everyone to change the reality of everyone, as within, so without.
For evil, they can do these things as far as on these places, and they do believe that these places are adding into what they intended to do. So even if we do see the KKK did go to Stone Mountain, I would say we need to research more and see their reasons of galvanizing there, especially when we can see that.
I'm gonna tell you why the KKK, see, when you say we need to research more to see why the KKK gathered there, you showing that you didn't research it, sister. I researched it. That's why I made the claim I made. For you to rebut the claim, you gotta research it instead of saying we should do it.
That's right.
Now, I'm gonna show you the research. It's very simple. You don't gotta guess why the KKK gathered there. The Ku Klux, you doing that because if you tell the truth about why they gathered there, it proves me right that the Klan saw Stone Mountain as a symbolic place for what they represent. Let's read it. The KKK gathered at Stone Mountain, Georgia, primarily because of its powerful symbolism and geographic significance to white supremacy and Southern identity. You don't got, see, when the sisters say we need to do the research and see why the Klan gathered there, you should be doing that while you teaching the stream.
That's right.
That ain't nothing but a quick chat GPT away. But if you do that, it's gonna back up what Sanchez is saying, that this energy that's there is not calibrated to our ancestors. It is the energy of the masters, and this is where the slave masters gathered. And ain't it ironic that Billy Carson them call it the gathering of the masters? Let's read. Stone Mountain is a massive granite monument that features a carving of 3 Confederate leaders: Jefferson Davis, Robert Lee, and Stonewall Jackson. The carving celebrates the lost cause myth, a romanticized revisionist version of the Confederacy that downplays slavery and elevates Southern honor. Stop right there. What do we see happening in America? Everybody downplaying slavery.
That's right.
Everybody elevating the old Confederacy, which is a mentality that told black people y'all just complaining. Quit feeling sorry for yourselves. Quit being a victim. While they victimized us, they told us to quit being victims. Take it up the butt and shut up about it. In other words, you see what I'm saying? This ideology that you see in far-right politics, which is spreading rampant in America, it is a energy that's in the air. And when you get to the South, you can feel it more than anywhere else, buddy. This ideology, this evil ass energy out there that's telling black people y'all complain too much. Slavery ain't real. And y'all exaggerating about slavery. It wasn't that bad. Come on, bro, that's blasphemy, man.
That's right.
Our ancestors would disassociate from a nigga talking like that. What do you mean feeding babies to alligators wasn't that bad? Taking everything that belonged to our ancestors and we don't have it today ain't that bad. You being at the bottom is a result of what happened in slavery. So this is part of the lost cause myth, which downplays slavery and elevates the Southern honor of the Confederacy. That's what the rock representing. Just like the McDonald's arches represent McDonald's food. When you see them arches, what do you think of? French fries, Big Macs. When people see Stone Mountain, they think of white supremacy, man. Because what's carved into the mountain, it's been stamped and branded with an ideology on that mountain, a stain on it. You can't change the fact that when I see Stone Mountain, I see white supremacy when it's literally carved into the damn mountain. You telling me to ignore this vandalism instead of telling the city to take it down if we move forward from racism.
That's right.
People don't like what I'm saying. They want blacks to continue to gather at a place that the slave master calibrated the energy at for their ancestors. Why don't black people gather at slave burial sites? Because most of these gatherings are orchestrated by boule ass niggas. And they know they can't step foot on those slave burial grounds because in their heart they know that they working against the ancestors, man.
That's right.
Along the times where we see these societies and they're having these meetings, they are going to ancient places that our ancestors did galvanize at, and we need to see.
Hey, YBST, what the hell are you talking about? I didn't say nothing about my shit being more realer than theirs. I said mine is more connected to the ancestors. Both of them real. Ain't nothing fake about neither one, so it ain't an argument about real or fake. It's an argument about what are you connecting with when you go to Stone Mountain. I'm telling you, I can't honor my ancestors inside of a satanic temple because all of the symbols that's around me is emitting a certain vibration and energy that's anti-ancestral. That's like saying we finna celebrate straight people at a gay rights museum. How do you feel comfortable doing that in a place that's contrary? The energy of that building is contrary on a vibration level to the energy you set as in your heart. Y'all get what I'm saying? Most of y'all try to act like you so deep with this spiritual shit, but yet you pushing against what I'm saying. You ignoring the fact that the enemy knew about spiritual energy too, and he was making sigils to keep his ideologies and his frequency alive. And Stone Mountain is one of those big racist ass symbols that if you got any kind of soul in you, when you're in that area, you can feel the energy of white supremacy, just like what ChatGPT telling you. The sister don't even know why the clan gathered there because she didn't want to do a simple ChatGPT search. Why? It's going to back Sanchez up. It's going to back Sanchez up. On Thanksgiving night 1915, a group led by William Simmons gathered at the top of Stone Mountain to reignite the KKK, which had faded since the Reconstruction era. Why did they go there to do it? Because if we're forgetting this white supremacy, where do we go to remember this racist ass ideology? To Stone Mountain. Why? If we want to reignite the KKK because white people ain't racist enough, where do we reignite it at? The place where the most energy at that is supporting this idea. As a black man riding past Stone Mountain, I can feel the energy that these Klans members are going to connect with. If you have ever been in the area of Stone Mountain and you familiar with the energy that I'm talking about, drop a 1 right now. When I'm rolling through a Freemasonic burial ground, I don't feel connected to my ancestors. I feel a weird energy that a bunch of traitors is buried here. That's what I'm saying. If a person wanted to reignite the Freemasons, where would they go to? A place that's saturated with Freemasonic energy.
That's right.
Where do we find such a place? Well, the men that founded the Freemasons. Let's go to their burial site or their ceremonial sites where there's a stargate or a portal that is keeping them alive, like what we see here with Stone Mountain. Don't you know if they get rid of stuff like this, the history of the Klan and what it represents and the energy will slowly fade away with these sigils? Now, a black person who's slyway supporting the slave master will argue against me and say, man, we don't got to get rid of that. Now, who team you on? Why don't you want to get rid of it? You see what I'm doing? I'm putting the pressure on these niggas. They got to go against what that ain't the way energy works, Sanchez. They just carved that there for no reason. No, it's a sigil rock. Go look it up. It's a sigil rock. This rock is maintaining a memory and an idea for future white supremacists if they ever start getting too soft on niggas. If this mentality of how to hate black people ever fade away and white people start getting all lubby-dubby, then you gonna have a few good old Proud Boys go and resurrect the spirit of the Klan. And how are they gonna do it? They're gonna take the next generation of KKK white boys who were so friendly with niggas, who acting like they scared to hate these people, and they gonna go and reignite that hate at this mountain. You know why? There's a gateway at this mountain of racist energy. The slave masters that died, they have a resonant vibrational a frequency lingering in these areas that's living through these carvings and sigils. It's a way of claiming this area on a spiritual level. And in order for black people to reclaim it, guess what you gotta do to them? What they did to us, which is desecrate their symbols and their forefathers, mock their ancestors, disrespect it, carve it out. Why you think gang members scratch out the other gang members' graffiti? Because it's energy coming from that graffiti. If a gang member mark that in your area, every time your gang walk by, they can feel the energy of that gang. And if they too scared to cross it out, then that gang is letting them know, yeah, this is us, we was here. Like these forefathers letting you know, we was here. We was in your hood because guess what? This is our indigenous land. So why do we should let these slave masters have a spot on our ancestors' rock? That's claiming our shit. Even gangbangers know this damn spiritual knowledge. And a gangbanger know if I put my sigil in your damn territory and you too scared to cross it out, that's a W for us, man.
That's right.
It shows we're in charge and we got you shaking in your damn boots. We carve the symbol of white supremacy on your damn indigenous black ancestor land and you ain't gonna do nothing about it.
That's right.
But argue with Sanchez on why you still should gather there to honor your ancestors when they had more courage and bravery than you. A coward don't have no honor from his ancestors. Remember that.
That's right.
If you don't want to deface this mountain, then stay out of that area because it ain't ours at this time. For you to make this area ancestral again, you got to grow some balls and desecrate this symbol here. That's the way spiritual magic work. All of y'all niggas want to sound deep, like you know something about energy, like you know something about the spiritual realm. Tell me I'm wrong. That's how I know you don't know shit about it.
That's right.
Them people ain't carved that into that rock for no reason. They leaving a statement behind to niggas. What you gonna do about it? Every time a black man look at these clans members, he's reminded of their power and his ancestors' inferiority. And if he don't want that memory to linger on in future generations of young black men that you're inferior, we gotta get rid of shit like this, because when the clans members go here, they can tell they little racist little boys what to be proud of. And guess what they telling them? Listen, son, this land used to belong to N-words, but our ancestors are so much stronger than the black man. They're so much braver than the black man that they took all of this shit over and they carved they symbols all over it to let the black man know it's now ours. If you want it back, take it back if you bad enough.
That's right.
And the white man can tell his son, they ain't bad enough because they ain't took it back yet. The white man can look at his son and say, son, this is a symbol of disrespect to the black man, and he ain't gonna do shit about it, son. But if another black man look at him wrong, he gonna shoot that black man. See, the KKK member can look at his white racist son and he can say, son, the black man will shoot another black man for stepping on his Jordans. But the black man ain't bad enough to cross out our slave masters off of his ancestors' rock. The clan member gonna let his son know this rock, you know how these rappers snatch your chain and they go live and say, hey, this his chain and he won't come get it back. That's what the slave master doing with our land. They carving their faces everywhere. Mount Rushmore, Lincoln Memorial. You look around, you see more monuments of the Crusader than the indigenous people that was here.
That's right.
Who should feel the proudest? If I was a young white boy, I would be so proud that I'm a white man, because everything around me would tell me that white supremacy is the strongest energy in this place, and every black man scared to rise up against it. If I was a young black boy, which I was, guess what I would feel like? Man, I better not play with these white folks. These white folks will punish you. You better keep your head down, boy. That's the energy we subconscious got in the South. And everywhere a nigga look in the South is some memorial of some racist motherfucker. A Confederate leader got a road named out of him here. Like, the South is so full of damn racist shit that when America say we move past racism, go visit the South. They still got monuments for racist ass evil men. And the Klan still visit the shit to reignite the spirit. The spirit of racism ain't gonna never go nowhere. And black people ain't gonna never do nothing about it, because they going against what I'm saying. They don't understand the spiritual side, the ritual side of racism, which is what Stone Mountain represent. They will argue with me. Is it wrong for black folks to gather there, even though it was claimed by the Klan? Even though it's a monument that represents their ancestors? I'm saying, if you want to gather there, you need to reclaim it spiritually. And if you ain't got the nuts to do that, stay out of them people's shit. It's theirs as long as they got it claimed and marked spiritually, man. You got Vicky Dillard, Brother Rich, and all of these niggas talking about magic and energy, and they don't know what I'm saying.
That's right.
Stupid.
Y'all just playing with this shit. You just talking. Ooh, this is magic. Ooh, this is energy, but you don't even really, you just playing, bro. I'm serious about it. There are rituals that you got to do to cleanse these areas of evil spirits. And I ain't talking about no demons and no Christian shit. I'm talking about the slave master forefathers who knew about spiritual energy and what y'all call magic. They knew about all that too, bro. That's what Mount Rushmore is. That's what the Lincoln Memorial is. That's what Stone Mountain is, and several other places around America. If you go in those areas, you will feel some racist ass hatred in the air. And this is the energy that the Klan go to reignite that spirit with when children forget about it, to keep the next generation of racists going. Look at here. William Simbers gathered at the top of Stone Mountain in 1915 to reignite the KKK. It was fading away. And it was reignited at this very spot. You see what I'm saying? Like, there's so much rituals that went on here. Any black person that's connected with their ancestors, the moment they get near Stone Mountain, they gonna feel hatred. Like Vicky Dillard and all them is at Stone Mountain and they feeling so connected to their ancestors. I'm telling y'all, that's phony. Them people ain't connected with their ancestors. If you really connected with your ancestors, the vibes that you feel at Stone Mountain is anger. When you see this area and what it represents, it pisses you off. It don't make you happy. It make you want to fight. And that's because your spirit is in tune to energy. You can feel that, but fakers can't. They can be in an area that's dedicated to slave masters and ignore the energy because they spirit ain't in tune with it. They faking. All that shit Vicky Dillard be teaching about magic and energy, and they so slow they don't know what I'm telling you. They don't know that the slave master created sigil rocks and portals and gateways all around this place to keep his frequency and his ideology of hating the black man alive for future generations. Now, they will tell you our ancestors left us sigils, hieroglyphs, and all that to keep a portal and a gateway to us, but they don't think it work in reverse.
Stupid.
So these niggas will go to Stone Mountain and say, well, we can be here and honor our ancestors and it's okay. It ain't okay if you connected to them. If the spirit of the ancestors dwell in you, whenever you step in some territory that's dedicated to their enemies, you're gonna feel anger. It's like a Crip riding through a blood neighborhood. He's gonna be reminded that I'm in a territory of the people that killed my homies. When the Crip is riding through the Bloods neighborhood, he's remembering how many of his homies died at the hand of these Bloods. How do you people that's connected with your ancestors go through the enemy's hood and celebrate and not be mad and reminded of what they did because you ain't connected? You fronting and faking.
That's right.
Why they're choosing these places, not just going into, oh, they chose this places, now it's theirs. Now it's a form of racism. Now we're getting into their ancestors. No.
It is. Now, Dulcinae just did a whole spiel about ley lines and spirituality and energy, and she don't even know why the Klan choosing that place. We just read that that's where the Klan go to reignite the spirit of the Klan that was started by their forefathers. See, these new generations of white boys, they don't got the same fire that the forefathers had about black people. They too sweet. So what they daddies and uncles got to do is take them to Stone Mountain and remind these little niggas on why the black man is your enemy, on why you need to hate him. And when they take the little white boy to Stone Mountain, they're reactivating his DNA connection to his white slave master ancestors. Just like when we go to our ancient slave burial sites, we start to feel their pain. We start to calibrate our energy with how they felt. And we start to activate our DNA that connect us with our ancestors and align ourselves with their plight in 2025. This is what the slave masters generations is doing. they're going to continue white supremacy for generations to come, because whenever a generation that's so separated from the original fathers lose the spirit, they go reignite the spirit in this ritualistic place where there's a portal that connect them to the founding fathers. So when you have this little white boy that got little black friends and his daddy is telling them to quit hanging out with the N-words, his daddy got to initiate him by taking him to a ceremony at Stone Mountain, and the more he go, the more hate he have toward black people. Through this history, they got to program the next generation of KKK members. These children don't come here hating black people. These children go through ceremonies, rituals. It's a cult. It's a brainwashing cult. And it's very spiritual, because the energy of these ancient slave masters get to dwell inside of these young white boys that's been born in 2025. They're reconnecting with this ancient spirit of hate, and they didn't even know nothing about it at first. They came here innocent. But this is an initiation that takes place at a certain spot. Why do the Klan members meet here? For the same reason I just told you. Whenever I ride through Stone Mountain, I can feel the energy of the KKK. I'm from the South. I'm 2 hours from Stone Mountain. And it ain't just Stone Mountain. All over the South, especially where I'm from in Birmingham and Alabama, it's a lot of stuff that's dedicated to the slave master to constantly remind the black man, you don't run shit.
That's right.
Y'all don't understand what that does subconsciously to a little bitty black boy born in the South. When he's riding around his city, he's seeing roads and statues and monuments dedicated to the people that was torturing his ancestors. And that the people in these states are still very much so proud of what their ancestors did, so much they ain't gonna get rid of these monuments because they want to keep that spirit of pride alive to future generations. You got to destroy this on a spiritual level. And it starts by desecrating the sigils that keep these ideologies alive. Now, there's a reason that your enemy desecrate your ancestral stuff. There's a reason that the slave masters went around destroying our symbols, destroying our temples. You know why? Because they knew they was disconnecting us from our ancestors. They understand this magic, this science. I don't like to use the word magic. People who don't understand it call it magic. See, the slave master knew it was a science, a psychological and spiritual science on how to make the black man feel inferior to the white man. So much so that the black man will make excuses on why he don't got to destroy this to honor his ancestors. But guess what? The slave master destroyed all of your ancestors' shit, you coward. Think about what I'm telling y'all. You got niggas that want to debate me because I said the only way we can go to Stone Mountain and gain favor from our ancestors if you bite it. I bet you won't destroy that shit.
That's right.
Cross it out. Get a paintbrush. Put a big X on that shit. And then honor your ancestors' death. The vibe will be way different.
That's right.
It's showing your ancestors, fuck these slave masters that torture y'all. Now do something about it. You coming in the same energy that the Klan got. Because when the Klan carved this into the wall, they had taken power from us. When these people first came here, they didn't have the right to vandalize our mountains and monuments. You had to ask the chief for permission to carve some shit into our mountains, man. This our land. But these people got so cocky when they defeated us, they said, now what? We gonna carve ourselves all over your land. And what that's gonna show future generations is that it no longer belongs to you.
That's right.
You wanna honor your ancestors? Take their shit back. quit making excuses on why you can't do what the enemy did. The enemy desecrated your shit and he didn't make no excuses. But when I tell black people, if you want to gather at Stone Mountain, you need to cleanse that area. You need to desecrate that area from them slave masters' energy. Then they don't want to be spiritual no more. All this spiritual shit we talk. All this magic talk that Vicky Dillard be on, all this energy talk and magnetic ley line talk, all this sigil talk. But when I say, okay, let's apply that to at Stone Mountain, well, we don't gotta do that to go there and honor our ancestors where you just fronting, you don't understand magic, nigga. You don't understand energy. You gotta cleanse that site. You can't go up in a damn satanic temple and go up in there and honor your ancestors if you don't desecrate the place. I can't. If somebody trapped me in a satanic temple and I know I got to meditate in this place every day and honor my ancestors, the first thing I'm gonna do is cleanse the place. I'm taking down all the symbols that represent the devil. I'm taking down all of the shit that that the Satanists put their energy and frequency into to keep their ideology strong in the building. I'm going to destroy that the moment I get in there. I'm going to cleanse the place of any energy that's anti my ancestors, because the ancestors ain't going to step into that place if it's marked by your enemy. And you can fool yourself all you want to, but our ancestors are strong enough. If your ancestors so damn strong and they live inside of you, why you ain't strong enough to cleanse that area? Get by it, nigga. The ancestors strong, right? They strong enough to go to Stone Mountain and mark over this damn vandalism. Well, Sanchez, we don't got to do that. You a fool. You fronting and faking. You don't really want to do, you want to act like you really for the ancestors. I made a valid point, bro. I said, yes, Stone Mountain is our land, but it's been desecrated and marked by the enemy spiritually. He did a ritual there. These people understand energy, man.
That's right.
And if you understand it and deny and you don't think that your enemy understand it, you dangerous. You're fucking dangerous. I made a clear point. I said, look, if black people want to gather at Stone Mountain, we at least need to come together politically and get the state of Georgia to carve out this damn blasphemy. We doing protests with everything else. Y'all protested for Carmelo Anthony. How come black people can't come together and tell the state of Georgia, listen, this was our land before the white man showed up. When the white man showed up, he desecrated this mountain, which belonged to our ancestors, and they didn't vandalize it. It was a natural structure. It's no longer natural no more. It's been defaced. It don't stand as a natural, untampered with structure. It's been vandalized now, and there's been a symbol of hate carved into it. And it's gonna keep America remembering something so dark. Why won't they take it off? Because it's dark to us, but it's light to them. If you're a white man, when you go to Stone Mountain, you get this feeling of pride. But if you're a black man, you're reminded of defeat. And it's further reinforced when Sanchez say, okay, they defeated our ancestors, but we can do something about it today. We got enough bodied gangster niggas today that will tear up stores and protest, right? So let's go ahead and disrespect this shit at Stone Mountain. I'm just telling y'all some spiritual truth. The enemy claimed this space spiritually, and I can feel it when I go through. I'm from the South, man. All of these places like Stone Mountain that the enemy have marked spiritually, you can feel their presence there spiritually. You can feel the energy of the fucking slave masters in that mountain. The only way you're gonna change that energy in the area is to carve this shit out. You gotta desecrate this. This is blue. Let me tell you, our ancestors actually taught this stuff. Why do you think Jesus tore up the temples? I'm going to ask you a better one. Why you think the enemy tore up our temples?
That's right.
Why you think the enemy desecrated our sacred symbols? Because he was breaking the connection from our ancestors. And you don't want to do that to him. You want to tell Sanchez, but we can still go there without doing to him what he did to us. You can't honor your ancestors with the spirit of fear and acting like a damn coward, because a lot of your ancestors lost their lives standing up against the people that you won't stand up to. So what I'm telling you, if you scared as hell and you know you ain't built like that, stay the hell off of them people's sight.
That's right.
If you want to go honor your ancestors, go to their burial sites. And then you can tell your ancestors how much love you got for them. But guess what? When the clan want to go honor their ancestors, they're going to go to Stone Mountain. If somebody asks a question, Sanchez, whose ancestor's spirit is more strongest in this area? Because the KKK honor their ancestors here too. And black people honor their ancestors here too. If a child look me in the eye and say, hey, Sanchez, whose ancestor spirit are the strongest in this area? I'm going to say the white man, because he marked it with a sigil rock. You can't compete with that. So all of these niggas that's talking about magic, energy, sigils, I just killed you with your own shit.
That's right.
Now watch these pseudos go against the shit that they be teaching. Because all of us in this conscious space know that what I'm teaching, we've been teaching it about energy, sigils, and symbolism. But when I show you how the white man using it too, well, Sanchez, we don't got, but yet he destroyed our symbols because he know the importance of it, of desecration. But you ain't got the balls to do his, so you gonna make excuses to Sanchez when I just tell your ass the truth with your phony wanna-be spiritual ass. Because when I go to kicking this spiritual science to your ass and let you know that sometimes in a spiritual battle, desecration is necessary, nigga. This is something that spiritual warriors do. They desecrate things. The people that invaded our lands, they knew that. They knew some of the first thing they did was destroy the symbols. They want to break the connection as soon as possible because they finna start indoctrinating them people. And they can't have no memory that will reactivate that DNA on who we really are. But yet they got their memory carved in stone. So if a young white clan member 200 years from now forget all about the clan and they forget that white man had his foot on the black man's neck, and the white man start losing pride and they no longer feel superior to the black man, they can just reignite this spirit by going to this damn rock right here and plenty other places where these witches gather at to channel the energy of their forefathers to rebirth that spirit. Because what happens is each generation get weaker and weaker. And these young white boys want to actually be friends with the black man. In order for them to keep this spirit of the clan alive, they have to revisit these spiritual sites that their ancestral energy dwell in. When the children get to these sites and they're given the history, it activates in their little white racist DNA. It's in their DNA. They got the same DNA of these racist white folks. They just don't live in the same time frame. So what the clan got to do is connect all of the ages with symbolism. This is what keep ideologies alive. This is why certain energy on the earth won't leave the earth, because it exists here through a sigil rock or a hieroglyph. And until you destroy these epicenters of the frequency, then the idea will just manifest into new generations. This is, y'all want to talk frequency, spirituality, you want to talk sigil, science. Oh, you talking to the right one now. And I'm telling you right now, until you spiritually cleanse Stone Mountain, there's a portal there that's opened up a connection to these racist dead slave masters. They wasn't just playing around at Stone Mountain, bro, having fun. They was doing spiritual rituals to mark that place as a place where this energy will be housed at, that any future generation of the clan can come there to reconnect with this energy if they forget who they are. If they ever forget that they superior to the black man and he's a slave. If future generations ever forget that. If the memory ever slips away in their racist DNA, the clan can take them here and reactivate that. They know the importance of what I'm telling y'all, which is why they destroyed all of our damn carvings and our symbols. So can't no black person tell me I'm wrong, because they've been acting like they know this for years. But now when they gather at Stone Mountain and I check them on it and I tell them, look, y'all got to cleanse that area. Remember, we do. All of these people, let me tell you what I mean by fake as hell. People like Vicky Dillard and all these folks will have y'all buying smudge and shit, sage, cleansing your house of evil energy. But I tell them, you can't gather at Stone Mountain without cleansing that area, and they look at me stupid. It's just like the church. Christians will tell you to cleanse your house from evil spirits. And I'm like, bro, I don't believe in red dragons and demons. The evil spirit is the spirit of oppression, the spirit of white supremacy. That's the damn devil. I don't believe in no red dragon. I believe in people who think that they superior to everybody else.
That's right.
So these black imposters, these fake spiritual gurus, have you smudging your house to get rid of evil vibration, but they'll do a whole ceremony at a satanic church and not cleanse the place. Hypocrites. You'll go to a place that's spiritually polluted with low vibrations of hate and slavery that the slave master recorded into that rock, because everybody know Stone's whole memory, which is why they created the Abraham Lincoln statue, which is why they created Mount Rushmore, which is why the pharaohs carved themselves in stone, which is why Stone Mountain is important. So when future generations of the clan forget who they are, this stone holds the memory. We teach this in the black conscious community. If you want them to forget who they are, like they made us forget who we are, you gotta do to them what they did to us, which is desecrate their ancestral shit.
That's right.
Can't nobody tell me I'm reaching, because guess what these people teach in the black conscious community? They disconnected us from our ancestors by destroying all of our damn symbols, desecrating all of our temples and symbols and all that. They teach this in the black conscious community. And I say, okay, maybe these people still connected and the spirit of supremacy is so alive and well in 2025 because we have not done to them what they done to us. Now, whatever these people did to us, it was successful. They disconnected us from our ancestors. We literally forgot who we are. Now, what did they do? They destroyed all of our temples. They desecrated all of our symbols and monuments. And you don't think that got something to do with us forgetting who we are? When they forget who they are, they go to their monuments and carvings to remember. Now, we don't know who we are. And most of the memory of who we are was recorded in stone, just like the enemy did with his people. See how hypocritical we are? We'll sit up there and tell you how they disconnected us from our ancestors. And then when I teach you what connects them to their ancestors, you say I'm wrong, when it have to be right is if what you saying is right. If we was connected with our ancestors because of symbols, sigils, and all of these sacred writings and stuff, and temples and all that, and destroying that disconnected us, then how am I wrong when I say we gotta break the bond that exists at Stone Mountain between the slave masters and their ancestors in order for us to reclaim that area? How am I wrong? The reason they saying I'm wrong because they cowards, y'all. They don't want to do to the slave master what he did to us. When the slave master came to our land, he didn't just go into our ancestral areas to honor his ancestors. He destroyed it first. When the enemy went into our temples to call out on his fake ass gods, he destroyed our gods first.
That's right.
He desecrated everything that we held dearly before he established himself in it. He was not gonna be staring at symbols and sigils that we made to honor our ancestors in a place that he's claiming to honor his own. The first thing that the enemy did was destroy any trace of our honor, our pride, our ancestors. Then he established himself in our area. He ain't scared. The enemy is literally doing what I'm telling y'all to do, and he ain't making no excuses. See, because the enemy know about this science of spiritual shit, and y'all freaking in front of Vicky Dillard. The enemy know in order for me to claim these black people's area, I gotta destroy and desecrate the shit that's there that's connecting them to their ancestors. The enemy ain't gonna argue with me about that. He gonna say, you right, Sanchez. So we gonna go there, we gonna deface and destroy their shit and carve our shit there. But when I tell black people, hey man, if you wanna claim that area, it's been claimed by clan members on a spiritual ritual. They put some their energy is there. They done rituals there. People will, all that magic and ritual talk that them niggas be on, that go out the window when I tell them how to perform the actual ritual. When I tell them niggas that the ritual requires for them to deface their enemy's carving, they'll say, Sanchez, we ain't gotta do all that, man. With your coward ass. You playing with this shit. And what I'm saying is very simple. If the enemy claimed that area and you ain't got the nuts to claim it back, you going there don't mean that the enemy left. His spirit's still there. It ain't your land because you meeting up there. It's still theirs. So it goes back to the question, whose ancestors' energy is more prevalent in Stone Mountain area? The white man, you can feel it. I've been living in the South my whole life. Every time I pass by areas that used to belong to indigenous people, but now they've been claimed by white supremacists, I don't even feel the indigenous people energy there no more. The slave master's energy is so prevalent, you can't even feel the people's energy that was there before them.
That's right.
You know why? It's buried up under all them rituals and ceremonies that the enemy did. I thought y'all understood energy. I thought you understood ritual. I thought you understood frequency. When the enemy claim one of your temples, they gotta desecrate the spirits that inhabit that place. They gotta piss off your ancestors' spirits in that land by desecration. You can't punch a spirit in the face. You can't smack a spirit on the face. If you wanna fight against a spirit, you gotta desecrate the symbols that the spirit is attached to, which is why they desecrated and destroyed our temples and sigil rocks and left they shit standing. This is a spiritual warfare, not just a physical one. Everybody like to use the word magic, but it ain't magic. It's legitimate science. Rocks hold memories. Stones can record energy. It's that simple. And if our memories is in this area, it's like a dub tape, right? let's say our ancestors got a tape recording. The enemy takes that tape and record his music on top of it. I can't hear my ancestors' music because the enemy just recorded over that. That's what the ceremonies are. So when a black person go to Stone Mountain, they may think they connecting with the ancestors, but they're not. And if you want to go there and connect with your ancestors, you got to close the gateway that the enemy's created. Now, people will say, Sanchez, that's pseudoscience, but these same people will do a lecture teaching you about sage, smudging, cleansing your area of evil energy. But when I break this shit down into reality and how this shit really work with cleansing evil energy, now I'm wrong. But they got y'all with smudges, sage, candles, burnt. You very aware of cleansing evil energy. Until I tell you that another way that you gotta clean in, another way to cleanse evil energy go beyond just burning some sage. You gotta desecrate shit.
That's right.
These symbols are seals that are sealing off the ancestral portal that connects us to the memories of these lands. When you go there, it's hard to tap into the original memory of what happened in this area before the slave master came, because it's a big ass picture on the wall of the slave master. That's like me trying to remember a song that just got dubbed over. I'm trying to remember this song, but someone recorded over it. Until I delete that recording, I can't hear the song and tap into the original memory that was there. This kind of desecration at Stone Mountain that the slave masters did, they recorded their energy over all of our energy that was previously in this spot. And I know it was successful because this science don't just work for good people, it worked for bad people too. It worked for anyone that know the science. It's just like technology. It's just like anything else. If your energy know more about electricity than you, he gonna rule over you with electricity. And the universe ain't gonna say, well, he's an evil man, so I'm gonna keep him from the knowledge of electricity. Nope. You can be as evil as you wanna be and smart as you wanna be too. The universe ain't keeping you dumb because you evil. In fact, the most righteous people in the world are the most dumbest, and the most evil ones are the most wisest. The universe ain't stepping in, helping nobody out. Knowledge is your only power. If the evil people got more knowledge than the good people, then guess who gonna rule everything? The evil people, and the universe ain't gonna step in and help you or do nothing. You got a damn mind. Ain't nothing stopping you from having knowledge and bravery and courage like the enemy got but you. And the enemy didn't have no divine intervention. He didn't have no spirits falling out the sky to help him out, nigga. He just had him, his brothers, and they was working together with plans and strategy. We ain't doing that. We arguing about pseudo ideas and ain't connecting with our ancestors. We being divided and conquered while mocking the things that can set us free. And you want to know why I do what I do? Let's get some more of the video.
Because a lot of times they studied our ancestors well. That's why people do go into these Masonic teachings and go to different things to learn about our ancestors.
Well, watch this. You don't learn about your ancestors from the Freemasons. These are the ones that hid the truth about your ancestors from them. I don't know who Dulcinae are working for, but I can't wait for this debate today. It's at 4 o'clock. To tell our people you got to become a Freemason to learn who you are is a damn shame, because guess what the Freemasons teach? That we are all the ancient Kemits. The Freemasons is where we get Kemeticism and Egyptology from. If you go to the Freemasons asking them who you are, they're gonna tell you we are kings and queens and pharaohs from Egypt, and that ain't who we are. We are the people who went to war with the kings and queens and pharaohs.
That's right.
We despise kings and queens, bougie motherfuckers that think they can own people and land and create class systems. The Freemasons want y'all to identify with the enemy. We was kings, we was queens. Nah, brother, we went to war with kings and queens. You on the wrong side of history. So Dulcinae telling you, when you become a Freemason, you get the knowledge of self. How about I got hundreds of Freemasons sub to my channel that tell me all the time, Sanchez, they don't teach this shit in the lodge what you teaching.
That's right.
Drop a 1 in the chat room right now. If you've been around this community, if you've seen Freemasons come and go and they learning more from me than what they learning in the goddamn lodge.
That's right.
If you are a Freemason in the chat room and you one of my students and you learned more from Sanchez than you learned in your lodge, type in the chat room, I'm a Freemason. You right. That's what I want you to type to my Freemasons. Cause she forgetting I got Freemasons who follow my ass, bro. If you are a Freemason right now in my chat room, type it in all caps. I'm a Freemason and I'm flat power. FMFP Freemason. Put that in the chat. Bro, it's Freemasons that email me. They join the show. Bro, I'm a Freemason. I'm a such and such degree. They don't teach this in the lodge. Bro, you going deep. I've had Freemasons get on my show and say, Sanchez, I'm at a high degree, and they actually teach flat earth at my degree. And Sanchez, you spot on with the flat earth stuff because I'm a such and such degree Mason, and they tell you that the earth is flat at this degree. I've had this happen to me several times. There are Freemasons going viral on TikTok for teaching flat earth and showing you how the Masons hiding it. All you gotta do is go online and do this, right? Watch this. Watch this. It's so easy to research this. Watch this. Put in Freemasonic cosmology. And if you go to Freemasonic cosmology, you will see that they teaching the flat earth shit in the lodge. Look at this. The sun and moon is the same size. We under a firmament dome, and the earth is a flat circle with the heavens revolving above it. You see what I'm saying? Here's what the Masons teach in the lodge. But you don't know how to decipher this into flat earth until you get to a certain degree. So for her to say you getting the knowledge of self in the lodge, my question is, why the hell, if the Masons teaching the truth, would they be a secret society?
Stupid.
Why must the truth be a secret unless you're a damn gatekeeper? So I'm asking the question today. Either I'm attacking legit leaders or Dulcinae is defending gatekeepers. Which one is it? I think she's defending gatekeepers, and it's very clear. She just said you can go in a lodge to get knowledge of self. You see what I'm saying? The Masons ain't teaching niggas knowledge of self. They's making a secret society off the knowledge, and even the people that's the low-ranking Masons, they don't even know all the truth. You get more truth the higher you rise up in the ranks, and that ain't the way you supposed to distribute truth. You don't distribute truth in a rank and file system of secrecy.
That's right.
If the truth is what's gonna set the people free, you just go outside and open up your mouth and scream it loud, nigga. You don't create a lodge and a rank and file system of secrecy to give people something that's gonna set them free. If the Masons telling people the truth in the lodge, why the fuck would they be a secret society? I gotta go to them to get the truth. They ain't gonna come to me and give it to me like Jesus did. What type of shit is that? The moment I discovered the truth, I became a goddamn delivery company, nigga. I'm the spiritual version of Amazon. You don't gotta come to me for shit. I'm coming to your ass. The moment I get the truth, I'm gonna deliver it to your doorstep, brothers and sisters. You ain't gotta come to me. You found me because I came to you via the algorithm. I presented myself to you. You didn't come to me. I put myself out there to the world with this truth. I didn't tell them, come join my lodge and you may get all of the truth if you rise through the ranks. Nope. I just put the shit out there delivery style, nigga, Pizza Hut. You got the truth, but I gotta come to you and suck you off for it and rise through the ranks to get enough of it. And you wanna know why we ain't set free? Cause the truth ought to be something you just give a nigga for free.
That's right.
You telling me these Masons got the truth and that's the way they delivering the shit? Thumbs down. Thumbs the fuck down. They enemies at this point. If you telling me they got the truth and they distributing it to our people the way that they doing, they're gatekeepers of the truth. Cause in order to be a Mason, you got to qualify. It's a thick sheet of paper. They may not accept you. You got to pay a monthly fee. Everybody may not get the truth if we got to get it the way the Masons want us to get it with they bougie asses. If the Masons wanted everybody feet free, they will say, you don't got to pay us no money to be one of us because you're a black man. As a black man, you are inheritors of this truth. Your ancestors are the ones discovered this truth. So you don't got to be a Mason. You just got to be a black man.
That's right.
Why the hell I got to take an oath and swear in to a secret organization to get the knowledge of self? Some ain't right about that. The only qualifications that you need to access the knowledge of self is just to be part of the people who the knowledge is for. I'm a descendant of the people who discovered all this knowledge that these Masons got. And they want to make me pay for it and sign up and go through their initiation for it. But the people they got it from was giving it out for free, nigga.
That's right.
You bringing up the Freemasons, you just shot yourself in the damn foot. And that's what I think Megan Thee Stallion did, free Tory Lanez.
How deep they were actually going into our old spiritualities as far as to galvanize on this magic that we have and the spirituality.
You don't need niggas to pay a fee for lodge building expenses. That shit right there sound like the church building fund. Fuck keeping the lodge built right when the humans is built like shit. Like I said about the church, we got some of the most beautiful churches in America and some of the worst slummy ass hoods with the most grimiest people. You collecting all this money from your members to make sure that the lodge looks good. Ain't that much nigga maintenance. Nigga, I don't upgrade my house every week, nigga. When I first moved into this house, me and my woman, we remodeled the bathrooms. We didn't like the old ass bathtubs they had, so we got modern style walk-in showers with the little fancy doors and all that. I'm not doing shit like that every week, nigga. I'm doing it every couple of years. We are remodeling our house and giving it value. We changed the backyard. It was all dirt. We got all grass. You're gonna step by step remodel your house and upgrade it over time. The church makes so much damn money, they telling you we need a weekly tithe to keep the church in upkeeping. Nigga, I don't put that much money into upkeeping the damn house that I live in. Who gives a fuck how raggedy the building is? Because have you ever seen a Jewish synagogue? Not all of them are beautiful. Some of them got squeaky pews, spider webs up there in the corner. And they ain't been upgraded in years. They still got old ass gargoyles outside. Put it this way, I've been in more fancy black churches than I bet that there is fancy Jewish synagogues. Jewish synagogues are very humble places. It ain't all fancy and fly. But the black church tell you, just like the Masons, you gotta keep paying a due every damn month just so we can keep it. We gotta upkeep the lodge. Nigga, that shit ain't need that much maintenance. All right, the shit don't gotta look all good, man. We going there to batter people. It don't supposed to look like a Hollywood mansion, nigga. When the people that's running the world can do it out of their damn garage. The tech gurus that monopolize the technological industry, they built the damn enterprises out of their garage. Microsoft was built out of garage. Apple was built out of a nigga's garage. We got all of these beautiful ass lodges and y'all ain't built shit that can compete with none of these folks.
That's right.
But you keep asking a nigga for building funds. You ain't built our young boys into a damn legitimate competitor against the enemy. But you want me to help keep the church looking good. Your priorities wrong. Ain't none you can tell me on why I got to pay dues every month into this shit. Because if we was getting the kind of money that the enemy getting, you won't need to collect this money by begging your members. Your members will fucking be having technology out there. They would be inventors. If we was going into these lodges connecting with our ancestors, you would have Nikola Teslas in these things. You wouldn't have to ask a nigga, we all gotta pay a monthly bill to keep the light on. That's a hustle, nigga. That's a hustle. Care what nobody say. So you go up in these Masonic lodges and it looks real good. And you walk outside of them, you in the damn slums, no different than the church, and they all gonna tell you the same thing. We need more building funds money. So the buildings be looking good as hell, but the people ain't doing good. But we go inside of buildings that look real good. You in a big fancy ass temple, and for a moment you feel like you in heaven till it's time to go back home to the projects. The people that's asking you for building funds from the community residents ain't building back the damn community that they siphoning all the energy and funds from. It ain't reciprocal. The pastor live in a nice house and the pastor preach in a nice church, but all of his members go back to the fucking hood and you trying to justify some building funds. Miss me with that shit, man. Y'all thinking shit. You thinking how they want y'all dummies to think. But they need that to keep the building going. Sanchez, that the building fund. Need that shit to keep the people at the top rich. That's why they need it, nigga. The building don't need that much maintenance, man. You don't gotta, but that's to pay the bills, Sanchez. Why don't all of these organizations have an economic strategy to pay the bills instead of begging poor folks? You got a church that's coming to a poor ass area telling people building funds and tithing. And what he's giving them in return is a beautiful ass building that's teaching them a message that's holding them back. And you want to justify this building fund.
Salute.
Salutes to everybody that's on the call. I'm going to now let me make sure, let me see when we're gonna open up. Stand by, we're gonna take some calls right now. So anyone who wanna be the first to interject, go ahead, because I'm thinking about, I gotta replay a little bit more of the video before the debate today, just to show y'all what's going on. What led up to this? Anybody?
Salute. Mike, check, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can
Hey,
hear you.
salute you, brother. You know, man, you throw a rock in the crowd and, you know, they gonna yell out, man, and reveal themselves. So what's taking place right now is a protection of the gate guards when we coming for the keys. So we got to get past the gate guards to get to Master's house to burn his house down. So, this whole, you know, attack on you for calling out what's really our issue in the community this is like blasphemy, because within these degrees of these Masonic lodges, there was a 6 degrees of separation that's supposed to separate us from them, but they're trying to restore a 6 degrees of separation to incorporate us into their fuckery. And brother, I just gotta say salute, stay on their neck, man. I want to tap in with you, man. Much love, much peace, much power. Hey, fight the good fight, brother, and I'm gonna tap back in with you, man. Much love and respect, bro.
Same to you. Appreciate all of that, man. Nothing but love. Shout out to Key Norfolk. And we'll go ahead and take the next caller, man. Much love to y'all. Who want to go ahead and interject next? Sifu, Rod, Neezy. First one, first serve. Go ahead, Neezy. Thank you for joining.
Yeah, I'll go ahead. Salutes, brother. Salutes. More peace and more power to you, flat power, man. I just wanted to make a quick point. I was at a funeral and there was a Mason that came up to me and he asked me if I wanted to ride the bull or whatnot. So he had asked me what religion I was. I said, I don't really believe in religion right now. And basically, long story short, he told me that I couldn't be a Mason.
You can't join, right?
You have to be part of a religion or whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
And all to your point, I just want to emphasize your point, and that's literally everything that you were saying. I experienced it. I'm over here down in Houston. But yeah, 100% right.
When I back in the day, when I didn't know no better and I wanted to be a Mason, I used the same excuse everybody else used. I'm going into there to see what they know. And I was really genuine with that. I was curious. I wanted to join the lodge. Like, what's the secret they hiding? If there's a secret, I want to know it. And if the price that I got to pay is joining, let me do it. So I was going to join. They gave me a packet. And that religious part, man, what religion, what faith do you belong to? All Masons must subscribe to a faith. And it can't be any faith. It got to be an Abrahamic faith, because the principles of Freemason are based upon Abrahamism. And you'll see why it ties into manifest destiny and all that. Because the Abrahamic faith, what it does, basically, it focuses on victim blaming and giving the slave masters the out by saying that they're the chosen people. This is manifest destiny. You don't find manifest destiny outside of Abrahamic literature. And the slave masters, the Freemasons were the first slave masters, man. These were the pilgrims on your oatmeal box. These were the founding fathers of what? Government. What is government? Looking over your cattle. The concept of governing another man makes me not sovereign if I can't govern myself. So when we came into government and class system, it was the Freemasons that started all that. And where did Freemasonry start at? In Kemet. What else started in Kemet? Government. Class systems. Or we put it together, money started in Kemet. The very system we living in today is a result of Egypt, which is why the Freemasons glorify Kemet so much. And they got to make everybody in the world think that life as we know it started in Kemet. They can't tell you the history before Kemet, because people will realize there was a better world before world governments was established. And we'll try to go back to that, the golden age.
Yo, Sanchez.
Mm-hmm.
If that's the case, then why do you teach us what they taught us?
What exactly is that?
The flat Earth cosmology.
Who got to be specific when you say why do I teach you what they taught us? Who teaching us that?
When you teach us the flat Earth cosmology, you are.
I gotta ask. No, hold on. I know what I teach. I'm telling you, who else is teach? You said Sanchez. Why do you teach us what they teach us? I'm asking you, who else is teaching flat Earth besides the flat Earth community that I'm a part of?
You said ancient Kemet, right? The ancestors.
No, not ancient Kemet. dynastic chemic. They stopped teaching flat earth in 10,000 BC when they said civilization started. They saying that uncivilized people were so dumb they didn't know the earth was flat, and they also weren't civilized. The starting of civilization also starts the point of us leaving flat earth concepts and going into the Greeks' concept of gravity and all that. When they said they civilized the world, they basically saying we indoctrinated the world to be tamed, to think how we want them to think and be docile and complacent in a low state. That's what they did. They domesticated wild humans like they did the dog, the cat, and everything else. Took the fight out of it, made it a house nigga. Just like a house wolf is a dog, but a wolf out in the jungle is a real wolf. But a house wolf is like a house nigga. It's domesticated. He ain't wild no more. And that's what they did. They domesticated everything and told you they civilized the world. The world was civilized before the enemy assumed power. In fact, we ain't civilized now, we just indoctrinated. But to answer I want to ask you a question. I'm still confused. You said, Sanchez, why are you teaching us what they teaching us? And I'm still confused on that question because
based on
I don't know who the they is that you talking about. Yeah.
So when we're basically teaching each other like educational knowledge or even hidden knowledge, all of the knowledge that we're teaching is it's either written down on tablets.
No, it's not. It's not. No, it's not. That's a lie right there. That's a lie right there. And I'm going to prove it to you right now, right? Show me where you can find what I taught today written on a tablet about how the magnetic ley lines expand from the North Pole. Show me a carving that's going to pull up a spider web, a broken glass, and an AE map and do what I just did today. You can't find that nowhere in the world, sir. I'm unique. Can't nobody do what I do, bro. It's a gift that I got, and there's some you can do that I can't do. But you can't find this methodology that I'm doing nowhere in the world and in no book. I bet you can't. Show it to me. Guess what it'll do? It'll help me out, because I realize, well, damn, I thought I discovered some new shit and a new way of relaying the information. But this brother just showed me, hey, Sanchez, here go a carving right here that's teaching about the glass breaking, the TP that you put up and making them connect. Show me an author that did it, that showed you that the magnetic ley lines are the exoskeleton of the firmament, and that they all are rising up to a point like TP sticks. Like I'm pulling up the earth right here according to the ancestors. I'm pulling up a TP pose, a spider web, and a broken glass, and I'm making all that shit connect and make sense. Who doing that? Where the carving at? Where the book at? See, it's okay for me to be in my own lane. I know ain't nobody doing what I'm doing. That's why I know you lying about that. In fact, everyone put, well, show me where someone just made this particular connection right here.
Your way of teaching is different, yes. But it's the point that you're trying to prove.
Which is what?
It's the same point.
What's the point?
Earth is flat or the earth is round. So there's only
no. That is not the point that I was proving in this slide. The point that I prove is that it's a fact that the earth is flat if there's magnetic ley lines, because you can't lay lines on the globe. You do know that. You can only wrap circles around the globe. You do know that, right?
I'm not trying to debate that, but
all right then, sir. Then when you say I'm trying to make the same point, no, I'm proving a fact that was hidden by liars. An ancient fact when I go into stuff like this. You know what I'm saying? But go ahead. So what I'm telling you is this right here. What you saying don't really matter. It's pointless, because at the end of the day, it don't matter if the point I'm making is the same point that he made or she made or they made. If you making the same point I made and don't nobody get you, but when I make the point, they say, I get it, Sanchez, then it don't matter that we making the same point. You don't know how to make it in a way to make their mind understand it. I found the method with speaking to the third eye via symbols and parable to do that, and it ain't nothing that, and I'll admit this to you, Rod, I can't take credit for what I'm doing, because this is called syncretism, and there were ancient people teaching this way before me. So if that's your point, then I have to say you're right about that.
Yes, that's basically what I was saying. So it's just like, we really can't use a time machine to go back and see if these people were like, ethical or unscrupulous. So it's really
that's pointless though. See, here's the thing about that. It don't matter if our ancestors were good or bad. It matter if they had the truth or not. It ain't a law that says, let me tell you what the law is of the universe. The law is the truth will set you free. The law don't say the truth will set you free if you be good. The truth will set you free if you're evil. It just say the truth will set you free. So if I'm an evil man and I want to rule over the whole world, guess what? The truth gonna set me free to be able to do that. Because once I learn the truth about how the earth work, how the air work, how electricity work, then I can manifest my evil desires. So the truth gonna set me free, even if I'm an evil man. The truth don't care who good and bad. It cares who accept it or not. And if a bad man accept the truth, then he gonna get set free before the good ass man. If a bad man say, I accept the truth, that this the way the earth work, and that this is how projection work, and I want to make some call a gun that shoots bullets to make me be able to kill up the good people with my evil ass. The universe ain't gonna stop that evil man for using the truth to produce his evil. These evil people they got the foundative truth of how the cosmos work, and the universe ain't intervening, stopping their evil plans. It's because why? The universe say, hey man, that's a fair fight. That's fair. I'm not breaking up a fair fight. The people in power doing something that all of us can do right now. That's why the universe is not gonna intervene. It's a fair fight. The moment we quit hating on each other and thinking we know every damn thing and say, let me start over and see what the ancestors were saying. But the moment you bring up flat earth to a nigga, they laugh you out the room. As like the Greeks knew everything. So my whole thing is, bro, the people in power accepted a lot of truth, but they hid it. We won't accept the truth. And ain't gonna be no divine intervention other than the people who accept most of the truth gonna rule versus the people who reject it the most. And you can be good as you wanna be. You can be as sweet as you wanna be at the bottom of society. All right, the universe don't give a fuck how nice you is. If you ain't accepting none of this truth and this knowledge, you ain't getting no power, nigga. And if the people in power is more knowledgeable than us, that mean they are more open-minded to what the possibilities could be about this place while making us closed-minded. They open-minded. They are going in these lodges, opening up their mind to all of our ancestral ideas, and they coming out the lodge laughing at the ancestors telling you they didn't know what they was talking about. So the whole world has closed their mind to the truth of the ancients, while in the lodge they done open up their mind to the truth of the ancients, and they using that truth to rule over everybody. And ain't nobody gonna save us until we do what they doing and open our mind. Then we'll be at the bottom. And like I said, it ain't a moral thing. It's a truth or lie thing. You know, fuck good and bad, man. How about we just focus on truth and lies? Because that's what the universe doing. The universe said that the man who build on the foundation of truth gonna be better off than the man that didn't. And if your granddaddy was a good individual, but he believed in some bullshit, he gonna wonder why he at the bottom of society and the evil ass men are at the top. And we will play dumb games with ourselves like God wanted to be that way. God put the evil people up there for all these, it's God's plan. I got several theories. I'm saying, what if nobody put them there What if we just allowed them to rise above us because they started valuing knowledge more than us, and they trained us not to value knowledge more than we value entertainment? So our way of thinking is wrong. And if you have any more questions or concerns, lay them on the table, man. I'm sharing the mic. Let's go to the next caller, or to him if he's not through.
So I believe that you can, have a lot of knowledge and then use your knowledge for good or use your knowledge for evil. So, I mean, you're going to have to use it for good or evil based off of your intentions, because there's only two options that you can go with. So
yeah, that's what I basically just said. Yeah.
So, I mean, at the end of the day, it's like, can't nobody judge yourself but yourself. So I'm not judging nobody.
You judge people every day, man.
Yeah, true. But I'm not going to speak out loudly about it. But
it's okay if you do. That's called saying how you feel. If enough of us did that, the world will be a better place.
But like you said, sometimes it don't even matter because some people are stuck in their ways. So
to who? See, that thing is, you saying how you feel may not matter to nobody in the room, but it ain't. I'm the type nigga that's still gonna say how I feel because it matters to me. The only person it need to matter to is me for me to manifest it. I don't even consider what another motherfucker. I'm so selfish. When it comes to the actions I carry out, long as I ain't harming another person, I don't care if I make them uncomfortable. Right? I ain't harming you. I'm just making you uncomfortable. Right? I'm still gonna do it. If you, regardless of you saying I'm uncomfortable, but you ain't dead, nigga. You ain't dying. You'll be all right. It'll make you stronger.
it's a very strong point. But I'm an individual, you're an individual, so you have a right to feel that way.
No, I have a right to say how I feel, and you do too. I'm telling you, you're not exercising that right, and that ain't a good thing. Cause
that's free will. Like I choose not to.
I know. That's like a person can choose not to help an old lady cross the street, and I can still tell them your choice reflects who you are, and you're a piece of shit. That's what I would tell them. I would tell a person that feel a certain way about Sanchez and don't say it to me, you're a fake ass person and you're a piece of shit. That's what I would tell them. Yeah, it's your free will. But if you feel a certain way about me and you ain't saying it and you holding it in and laughing in my face, I don't like people like that. But that's just me.
Nobody's laughing.
No, it wouldn't matter if you laughing or not. I just put that in there. If you feel a certain way about me and you ain't telling me, that's some fake shit. Just being around me, feeling that way and not saying it. Now people can say I'm wrong, but that's again individuality. That's what I think, and I'll be so respectful, brother. I would say I can be wrong too. I'm not saying I'm right. That's just a way that I live and something that I think is true, but it can be wrong. Because I say everything about what I feel about everybody. And guess what? I will admit it has gotten me in trouble too. I ain't gonna lie to you. So you wise. You're a wise brother. Because me exercising this right rod, it has got me blackballed. It got me in trouble. Right? So I get your stance, brother. You being wise. I'm being just saying, I don't give a fuck. I'm ready for war. See, I'm different than you. I got a different calling than you. The ancestors sent me to battle spiritually against these imposters. Your mission for the ancestors may be different. That don't mean you still ain't a warrior. You just ain't called to be like an infantryman, a fucking vocalist that's standing up against me. But you may play your part silently, secretly, and be just as effective as me. We on different missions. I ain't counting you out. You know what I'm saying?
I agree.
Just because I'm louder than you don't mean I'm more effective than you is what I'm saying. Just because I'm ruffling more feathers and causing more, You know what I'm saying? That's just my calling. I'm a rabble rouser. The ancestors need those. They also need brothers that blend in, keep their mouth closed like you, but secretly helping the ancestors too. You feel me? So shout out to that.
Shout out to you too.
And shout out to the panel and to the chat room as well. Y'all in the right place. We talking about the right stuff at the right time with the right people. Anybody else on the line that would like to interject? Let me remind you what the vibes are. Am I attacking legitimate leaders, or are people defending gatekeepers? Shout out to the sister Dulcinae. We don't want to make it just about her. She represents a bunch of our people. The moment we challenge those in power, whether it be Billy Carson, Brother Rich, Farrakhan, you name it, when you challenge these people, they will say you're attacking the leaders versus challenging ideologies that ain't getting us nowhere. We keep doing the same thing, getting fucked up results, but we won't change what we're doing because no one would challenge the leaders that keep us doing the same thing, spewing the same bull crap that's wrong and keeping us behind.
Right, bro. Yo, peace to the channel. Peace to Sanchez.
Peace and love. Yeah.
But nah, you right, because I used to watch Brother Rich, and after a while I started to realize I'm not coming for him, but I wasn't gaining nothing. It was like they was just sitting there, just, you know, chopping it up, just talking about other stuff that I wasn't gaining nothing. But really, you're right though, because when you look at the how much they destroy our stuff, that's what I start to realize. I'm like, you really do make a point. So,
and I'm gonna
it's
tell
hand
you,
to hand.
and I'm gonna tell you something too. What you will get when people who try to hate on me, like the brother put in the chat room, I lead by example, not words. Guess what? You got to give an example to the next generation of how to use words. That statement is stupid. Because in order for you to give an example, you got to use words. When you say, well, I'm going to go out there and just let my actions talk, you ain't going to just let your actions talk. You're going to be an ambassador of your actions. For example, a person that sell dope ain't going to say, I'm going to let my actions speak for me. They going to rap about it. Even these young drill rappers, when they unalive a person, they going to go rap about the body. No one is really letting their work speak for itself. Everyone have words to express that they are proud of their own work. And I know that sound good, but none of us are that humble. And you don't have to be either, nigga. It's okay to lead by words and example. So my actions gonna give an example and my words gonna explain my action. You see how this work?
Actually, right. Another thing I realized, a lot of people don't think before they talk. They just speak. That's something, because I watched the video, and that's deep though when you think about it.
That's facts. You gonna ain't nothing wrong with speaking, and you know what's wrong with the world? The people that ain't lifting their voice, it don't matter what you doing. You ain't helping out. You ain't helping us, man. Spirit is breath. Look up the word. Now I'm gonna tell you, the spiritual battle is literally a vocal battle. Because the people that's run the world got celebrities, entertainers, musicians. It is a spoken word battle. Because when it comes to telling the truth and telling lies, that's all about talking and running your mouth. Because the man telling the truth running his mouth, the man telling the lies running his mouth. Ain't nothing wrong with running your mouth. The question is you telling the truth or the lies when you running your damn mouth? Because a man that's talking every damn day, but he waking up every day telling the truth in a world full of lies, I hope he keep on running his mouth.
That's right.
We need his talking ass. And we need him to get up every day, motor mouth, and keep telling that truth, brother. Amen to that. Because the people gonna wake up every day running their mouth, telling that lie every day, and we need spiritual warriors to battle it. It's a word battle. It's all kind of wars being fought. And the most strongest battle that's taking place on earth is a battle of information and debates about science and the word. That's the spiritual battle, which is why the word spirit means breath. That's why the people who control the spiritual communities are reverends, pastor, orators, ministers. Their whole career is about talking. That's the spiritual realm. The throat chakra is the blue chakra, dealing with the sky. Man's ascension was based upon his confession. Once you confess and proclaim the truth inward and outwardly in the forms of lifting your voice, until you do that, you ain't escaping this place. It ain't enough to know the truth. You got to profess and confess it too. You got to let the air out of your mouth vibrate the ether with the truth inside of you. You got to put it out there. Yeah, people won't avoid that. If you know the truth and ain't telling it, man, you're a gate guard. It's that simple. So, who else we got who haven't grabbed the mic? Let's go ahead and give you the floor. We go to the next caller.
Can I say something real fast?
Yeah, sure. Welcome to the show.
Really, really good presentation because you were talking about stuff that rarely gets any, light, which is how they make symbols, and they're powerful. The symbols do generate power because all these attention is being put on them. So where attention goes, energy flows, and it creates a portal. Yeah, and you can program the ether. Like if you're doing rituals in a certain place a lot over and over, it programs the ether, so you can't pick up on the energy. So a lot of that shit was true, and people don't know about that. But and then the other thing I want to say was that lady, she gave away that she don't know. She hasn't studied the occult, and she don't know that we're dealing with a cult. They do things because they're a cult. But that because she said that the magnetic ley lines aren't real or whatever. But any engineer who's into like magnetics knows that ley lines are real. So it's real shit. You just can't see it. That's all. Because it's a magnetic ley line, like it's generated through magnetics, so they're real. And if you have the right technology, you can detect them.
Hey, let me take a moment as well. Appreciate that to say, let me give a shout out to Witcher Official. Thank you so much for the super chat. He says, you're spot on. The heart is the feedback mechanism. We only leave this game when we individually follow the higher self. That's what creates a master. That is big facts right there.
That's right.
Shout out to Witcher Official. Thank you so much for becoming a member of the channel. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And shout out to Truth Be Told. Sanchez, you are completely wrong about Dulcinae. I respect Dulcinae. And I don't know what you saying I'm wrong about her for, because I didn't really address her directly. I just played her clip and started speaking in general. If you watch the video, I would play some of Dulcie's video, and then I will begin to generalize about black people as a collective. So I'm trying not to just say it's her. I'm saying we do this. Like, black people don't think we gotta do this or do that. I ain't saying Dulcinae didn't do this. Dulcinae don't believe that. I'm looking beyond her because I'm saying she's represent a greater community. Most of us don't like when people push against the leaders we've been comfortable with. But if these leaders ain't led us nowhere, we gotta shake the foundation. For real, this is good stuff. The leaders gonna act like they're being attacked because they wanna stay at the top. But these are a small group of men at the top when I'm trying to put all the people at the top with the truth. The truth gonna set us free. If every generation we farther away from freedom, then we farther away from truth. Meaning each generation is inheriting lies, and they doing the same thing that made the previous generation fall short. And the debt that they paying is increasing each generation exponentially for the mistakes that they manifest. So Our old heads don't want to be told that they're wrong. But they ain't right. If they were, each other generation would be getting better, right or wrong. If every black generation is getting smarter, better, and stronger, then people can say, Sanchez, you wrong. Because look at our people. Our people getting better and better, man. So the leaders that's in charge are evidently doing a good job. Then they would have a point. But everybody got to admit our people getting worse and worse. And now we got to do something different. If we want to reverse this, try something different. And don't nobody want to do nothing different. We stuck in the same way of doing shit, the same ideology. And when Sanchez come with the new shit and shake shit up, man, what you doing? That's disrespectful, man. You attacking us. You know what you sound like? A person that was sleeping and I ripped the cover off of you. What you doing, man? Put that blanket back on me, man. It's cold. I'm uncomfortable. You ain't gonna never get out the bed if you comfortable. I gotta make you uncomfortable to get you out the bed. We got a next caller. Salutes to the callers. Anybody wanna build with me?
Sanchez cocinado.
Y'all just come and have a front row seat to this download. Salutes to you either way. I'm not mad at it, but I am sharing the mic now that you guys are on the call. So
Nah, you right, bro. They don't want to see this truth. They scared of that.
yeah, man. Hey, salutes to Adam H as well. My bad. Thanks for being a member, Adam H. And also, let me read this dope comment. He said, "You're hurting some feelings, I see." Salutes, bro. You're gonna hurt feelings because, like I said, a person sleeping good. They feelings gonna get hurt when you turn that light on, hurt their eyes, snatch that cover off them, now they cold. But a person ain't never gonna get out the bed if you don't do that. So let me go ahead and say if there's, let me drop the link. So if everyone on the call have, said what you called in for, then I'm gonna shut this one down. And we'll be getting ready for the debate at 4 o'clock. Right here. Don't go nowhere because this stream will redirect you guys to that debate. So going once for the mic to the panelists, going twice. Anybody on the panelists that would like to speak, this would be the time.
What's up, Brother Sanchez?
What's up? Let me see who we got here because I can't see. Oh, that's Sky Blue. What's up, Sky Blue? How you doing?
I'm doing good. How about yourself?
Doing good.
That's good. I want to talk about Stone Mountain because I had went the second time and I was late going because I was in the cycles of going, so I didn't know if I wanted to go or not. But when I was climbing the mountain, I did feel good because I was achieving a goal to climb that mountain.
Right.
And so it wasn't, for me, it wasn't to honor my ancestors, it was to honor myself and to put myself up for a challenge. So I want to ask you a question about, like, when we climb the mountain, we feel good about that. Like, we feel good that we achieved the goal. What do you think about that?
I would say if you feel good for climbing that mountain, picture that feeling times 10. That's how good we gonna feel if we restore it back to its natural state and get rid of that vandalism that's on it.
Right, I understand you. Yeah, for sure, for sure.
So take the feeling that you had when you made it to the top of that mountain, times that by 10. That's how we'll feel so much, because that's a mountain we gotta climb. Getting over our fear of reclaiming our shit. Like if I go in your house, sister, and I write my name with a marker on your damn refrigerator, you ain't gonna let it stay there. You gonna erase that. Like, what the fuck, nigga? This ain't your refrigerator. Don't write your name on my shit. Like, that's a ritual that humans do to show ownership. If I put my name on something, I'm telling the world that's mine. So that's what I was saying. Now you climbing it, that's different, like you said, but coming from a honoring our ancestors would be to reclaim it. And there's a ritual involved in reclaiming it that we too scared to do. And guess how real I am? I'm even saying we, because I'm telling you Sanchez is scared too. I know if I go up there and try to desecrate it, you may have to do a few months in jail. They gonna fine you. You know, ain't no telling. And I don't want to do that. So I'm just telling the truth on what would need to happen if you wanted to restore that area to its natural state and get the evil energy out of there. But definitely climate, because that is a personal symbol of you rising above not only white supremacy, but anything, your worst fears, any addictions you may have. You know, you can tell yourself, you can do a ritual before you climb that mountain. And before you climb the mountain, you can say, this mountain represent my cigarettes. This mountain represent alcohol. You can put all of the negative shit and you can say this mountain represented. When I climb this mountain, I've defeated all of that, is what this ritual mean. And when you climb the mountain, that'll literally be a ritual that will send that energy into the part of you that would aid you on some divine intervention shit to help you literally conquer those things that you just said. Stuff
You
like
right, brother.
that. You know.
You're right, because I was going through a lot at that time, and I was staying in Atlanta, but I moved back home to Michigan because I wasn't feeling the vibe in Atlanta. But when I climbed that mountain and I walked down, I felt the relief from all the junk that I was going through in my past, and like I was just letting go. So you're right about that. Thank you, brother.
Oh, appreciate you, sister. This sister here climbed Stone Mountain. I never climbed it, but now I ain't gonna lie, I would like to though. Hey, let me give a shout out to Christian Swiatek. Let me say thank you so much for becoming a member of the channel. Salutes to Sister Sky Blue and anybody that would like to join. Go ahead, callers. This is your time. Dropping the link in the chat room. Anybody want to come up? So this is what I'll do, right? At this time, I think y'all get the point. I ain't gonna just go through the entire video. I played a little bit of it, right? But maybe I'll save the rest for another day and pick back up right here. You guys let me know, right? Drop a comment, drop a like. Let me know if you like this particular breakdown, and I'll pick back up on it. Salutes to Dulcinae. We don't have to agree to be respectful and to be passionate. So I did this in good taste. And who am I debating? I will be debating Sister Dulcinae on the Stone Mountain Gathering. The videos I made on the Stone Mountain Gathering. That'll be at 4 p.m. Pacific time. So see y'all there. Peace and love to the panel. And again, thanks everyone that supported the show. See y'all 4 p.m. for the debate. We out.